Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. Today, really by popular request, so many people keep asking me about this, what I think is an absolutely ridiculous farce of this MH370 video hoax. For those unaware, these videos were originally posted by an account called Regicide Anon, which whose YouTube channel contained a multitude of completely provably fake UFO videos. But somehow, as is often the case, we call it UFO hoaxer whack-a-mole. These things get debunked, and then enough time goes by that somebody picks up a completely and totally dead, proven hoax and runs with it, usually connecting new dots. We saw this with this alien interview hoax. And other hoaxes. Dr. Jonathan Reed, that was another one that was completely and totally debunked. The guy goes away for a while and then he just comes back still pretending to be a fake doctor, or pretending to be a real doctor, but it turns out he's not a real doctor. His education is fake. That whole hoax was busted at the time it came out. And that's what usually happens here. Somebody does a hoax, it gets busted as likely or most likely or completely busted as fake. But along comes some opportunistic person who decides that he can still promote and make money from this hoax. And now let's be very clear. A lot of money has been made by this Ashton Forbes and all of the people that he's doing these podcasts with. I was listening to a space in which somebody who hosted Ashton multiple times, and by the way, I listened in on some of them, never asked him any real or critical hard questions, talked about getting 1 million downloads on their audio podcast. Just so everybody's aware, that's a huge amount of money, that alone. But then we've got huge podcasts like Timcast and others, jumping in to get their little piece of the hoax pie money. And, I was completely disappointed with some of the people that I saw even platform this, because what you have to remember, I think it was Lou from Lou Reviews who said this, and he's absolutely right, is that the videos were originally posted on an anonymous YouTube account that was filled with fake UFO videos. Even Ashton admits that account has a bunch of fake UFO videos. So, to most reasonable or rational people, the discussion should end right there. These were posted by an anonymous YouTube account, which is filled with other completely and totally provably fake CGI UFO videos. But somehow, I guess to his credit, this guy picks up this completely dead, proven hoax and gains a huge following, mostly by connecting the dots. And I think that, we'll get into some things like standards of evidence and expert witnesses. You can't have expert witnesses in virtual effects come forward and say, these videos are fake and here's why. And then a guy like Ashton, who has no training, no experience, no proven track record in that field of expertise, just says, no, we debunked their debunk. No, you didn't. You're not even qualified to debunk their debunk. It's absolutely ridiculous. And already I'm getting attacked by nameless, faceless, brand new Twitter accounts. And isn't that always funny that when you bust some of these fraud hoaxes, you get attacked on Twitter by nameless, faceless Twitter accounts, all hurling personal insults? Like an account that has 6 followers that is a brand new Twitter account just told me, throwing insults at me. And I believe that Ashton has been using fake sock accounts. That's my personal belief, and I'm entitled to it. And here's why. Right around the time that he started pushing this hoax, a brand new nameless, faceless Twitter account I'd never interacted with before came to me and said, hey, what do you think of Ashton Forbes and these MH370 videos? And I said, they're completely fake now, just as they were in 2014 when they were debunked originally. And then again, I'd never interacted with that account, let alone interacted with Ashton, never had any interaction with him. Immediately after I said the videos were fake, Ashton Forbes blocked me. Now, I believe he's since unblocked me, but this shows that this is not an honest effort here. This is a purposeful attempt to deceive. There's no reason why you should be blocking people that say the videos are fake if your evidence is good. But I believe that this person cannot withstand real debate, real scrutiny, which is why I believe he was going around checking what podcasters are going to help me get publicity that are going to believe this. And anybody that said it was fake, he wouldn't go on their podcast. Isn't that's a little bit more than a coincidence to me. Of course, I can't prove that he's using sock puppet accounts, but many people are saying that because I just don't, I'm sorry, I don't believe that anybody cares this much about these fake UFO videos to go attacking people with brand new nameless, faceless accounts. A lot of people are telling me that he's got a bunch of sock accounts. I don't know that that's true, but we have seen that tactic used by other hoaxers and fraudsters like Lou Elizondo and others. If you dare speak out against a grift, they will send in the clowns to attack you. And I believe that's what's been happening here. It's interesting. And I just wanted to mention that what caused me to, I kind of changed my mind. I said, I'm not going to dedicate any time to this. This is stupid. But a few things have changed. Ashton miraculously says he's going to retire from the MH370 hoax or grift or whatever you want to call it. Coincidentally, right at the time people start filing FOIAs to find out if he's telling the truth about some of the things that he said. And let me be clear that there's a lot of dishonesty involved with Ashton and the way that he has pushed this hoax. The first of which is what I've just described to you, going and checking if somebody's going to be receptive to the hoax before, you know, asking for a guest spot or whatever the case may be. And recently, people have said they're filing FOIA requests to find out if his statements about Arrow are true. And recently, a friend of the show, Real Area 503, at Real Area 503, did one Twitter thread that I think really, and we're going to get into this tonight, really destroys this entire thing in one thread. I mean, the amount of evidence that these videos are fake is absolutely overwhelming. And sorry, not sorry. If there are 3 or 4 20-year virtual effects veterans looking at these videos and saying these are fake and here's why, you don't get to just say no, they're not. You have to. There's standards of evidence, which means that Ashton has to put up 3 or 4 20-year plus veterans in virtual effects that refute people like the Carter crew. Then there was other arguments like, oh, they can't be recreated. It would take somebody 6 months. We've got 2 people that did recreations, one of which Ashton blocked and refused to interact with until recently when the pressure got too much. So there's all kinds of deceptive tactics being used to push this hoax. And standards of evidence get thrown out the window. Sorry, not sorry. If you've got on the record real people who say, these are fake and here's why, you can't just pull anonymous Reddit posters who say they're from Marvel or Top Gun Maverick that the videos can't be fake. You can't do that. He didn't even check that those people are who they say they are. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're even here. But welcome to clown. This is the clown show. And then some of these other arguments, oh, the pixels don't match 100%. This guy's supposed to be an IT professional. He would know that when people manipulate things in an audio or video editor or in a 3D rendering program, they're going to stretch things. They're going to change things. Unless you have the hoaxer's exact settings on everything he used, exact filters and everything he used, it's never going to match 100%. But we've got the asset used to create the teleport effect or explosion effect. We've got the original person who took the still images that the background was faked from. And we've even got a person claiming that he made the videos. Both of those people were blocked by Ashton. That's not a coincidence that he's blocking people that can disprove him. So we're going to get into it all tonight. And joining me is a special guest tonight, Area 503. And we're going to get into this. We're going to bring him right in. Welcome, Manny. Good to see you.
Hey, what's up, Steven? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Let me just check your mic volume there. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. So do you want to go through this thread before we begin to get off in the weeds? This thread of yours, I think, perfectly shows why there's no honest effort here. You know, I saw this Twitter Spaces where everybody was jerking him off, telling him what great research. And I just want to ask you, Manny, do you use anonymous Reddit posters that you haven't verified even are who they say they are? Is that good research?
No, no, it's not. No, you got to look at everything, and all the facts in a case, which it seems pretty clear that when you start digging into this, that's not what happened on Ashton's part. That he kind of, I think I said that in the tweet. I think I said that he cherry picks speculative data.
Yeah. So your thread starts off. It says, "What does a CGI video that has been passed off as conclusive evidence of MH370 being sucked into a portal have in common with 21 pilots and a music video with over 564 million views?" And that we could get to the recreation. You go on. Yesterday, I found a recreation of the CGI MH370 orb video and posted it to Twitter because I wanted people on this platform to know of its existence. Today, in response, Ashton posted questioning technical elements of the recreation. And we can get into his arguments, but they're really nonsensical. And everybody that's one of his supporters, I also noticed too, that they are completely and totally unwilling, in my view, to accept any evidence. This Ashton said that this couldn't be recreated. Then he said it could, but it would take huge resources in 6 months. This person made this recreation in 1 day. And I found another person that made a recreation in 1 day. So that alone shows that his research is worth shit, in my view. What do you think about this refutation of this? It's just excuses. It's not 100% exact. Therefore, the videos are still real. It's ridiculous. Why are we even still talking about this?
Right. I agree. The whole thing is just a comedy of clowns, man. It really is. There's, the dismissal and the rationalization that Ashton is demonstrating right there is just par for the course. And when you really start digging into it, you see that that's kind of his MO from day one. Like every time somebody brings up a valid point, he just rationalizes it, calls it debunked, and then moves on as if it doesn't exist. It generally ends up blocking the person who brought up the statement. So it's just kind of,
just to be clear too. So, people on Twitter are attacking me going, no, you can't just show the recreation. You have to provide the assets you used and prove that they were all available in 2014. That's a nonsense argument. But the person who did the recreation did provide every asset that he used to make it. So when we get back to Ashton's nonsensical refutation of this, he says the fake video is immediately apparent due to the stick-like figure of the plane. It looks almost exact in the recreation to the original. Why is that a stick figure, but the original video is not a stick figure? And look, that supports the claim the Top Gun Maverick post claimed about how hard it is to scale down accurate. Yeah, so he's citing a fake post on Reddit. And by the way, Ashton, I'm going to challenge him on this. You can't use anonymous Reddit posters who claim they are somebody. Show me the guy's name, his credentials on the record that he really did work on Top Gun Maverick. Or is this some rando post that you cherry picked out of Reddit that for all we know he posted? Yeah, right? We've got all these virtual effects experts that work for Marvel and Top Gun Maverick say the videos can't be fake, but they're anonymous Reddit posters. They're not, he didn't vet anything. He just accepted that because it fits his arguments somehow. The first orb in the video doesn't come in correctly. It's all just, you're right, just anything. Lastly, the zap is incorrect and could not be recreated in After Effects because, for whatever reason, right? Well, I'm sure there was software in 2014 that could do this.
I just want to point out something here real quick, Stephen. There's a lot of questions that he raises about the VFX, but Ashton has admitted multiple times he has zero training in VFX. He doesn't understand things like plates or mats or chroma key or opacity settings or warp skew keyframes, none of that stuff. But he wants to make an argument. He sure comes across like he's an expert, all right. And the biggest point I want to make about this is that if Ashton had any questions about
it sounds like you're breaking up here. I don't know if it's just my side of things, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It might be mine. No, I'm getting a little bit of pinging too. So I need to either reboot my computer or
well, if you want to do that, I'll go through your thread, and then by the time you're done, you can jump right back in. You want to try
Okay,
that?
let me do that real quick. I'll do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sorry about that, friends, but I hear him cracking up, so I'm, you know, the audio files are going to kill me if that's is going to continue. Yeah, and of course, somebody said he needs more than a 56K connection. Yeah, and you guys hear it too. So hopefully, all right. So you know, even with the reference that the original hoaxer would not have, the videos have never been recreated. They've been recreated twice. So that's just a completely and totally factually inaccurate statement. As for the drone videos, no one has come even remotely close to recreating it. You know, it's like no, you know, it's like talking to a wall. There was a point at which he admitted that the videos were fake. And that's when the original person who made the background still images that the hoax was created from came forward. And by the way, that guy had plane tickets, receipts, and on the record statements from the asset store that he sold them to prove that those existed at the time this hoax was created. But let's get back to the rest of his thread. Area 503 goes on to say, it turns out that Ashton has known about the recreation for months and responded by blocking the creator of the video. If Ashton has questions about the recreation, why are they asked in his echo chamber where the creator is blocked? And this is Tony Adams, who made the recreation. By the way, we're going to show you that recreation, and that's one of three. Three people have recreated these videos, and it's so close that I can't believe that we still have to argue about this. But Ashton and his followers will say, no, it's not pixel for pixel accurate. And again, if Ashton is indeed an IT professional, he would know that it would never be pixel by pixel, you know, 100% a match because of settings, because of compression ratios, video codecs, because of filters that may have been applied at various times during the creation of it. It will never be exact. But this guy said these couldn't be recreated. And everybody that recreated it did it in about a day. So, you know, his argument that it would take 6 months and this and that, it all falls apart. So Ashton knew about the recreation and he blocked the person who did the recreation. Tony Adams says, this morning, Ashton Forbes made a post about my recreation. He got a bunch of stuff wrong, including my name, but I'm blocked, so I can't respond. This is his modus operandi. And in my experience, you know, it is that and start hurling personal attacks. I love when he attacks the appearance of like the virtual effects artists who say it's fake. That's not relevant. That's called, I can't argue with this person, so I'm just going to attack their appearance because I'm pissed off that my grift is coming crashing down. Area 503 says, furthermore, it also turns out that the creator of the original CGI video also approached Ashton several times and told him the video was fake, only to also be blocked by Ashton. So this is the echo chamber. If his evidence that these videos were real was so good, he wouldn't need to be blocking people that prove that his evidence is shit, in my opinion. And just for those that are clear, this person, the Joe Lancaster, he did an AMA on Reddit and answered like 100 questions about how the videos were created. But of course, you got to come up with some excuse for why that guy's deep state or one of the men in black trying to cover it up or some bullshit. So they said he can't provide the files. I don't know about you, but I don't have any files that from projects I did from 10 years ago, and most people wouldn't. But he was able to answer all the questions about how the videos were created to the satisfaction of most reasonable and rational people. What does Ashton do? Block the guy so that his followers can't see that the hoaxer has been identified, right? Area 503, that's right, folks. The creator of the original MH370 abduction video came forward months ago as well, and if Ashton had not blocked him, he could have asked any technical questions about the creation of that video as well in his recent AMA on Reddit. The original MH370 videos were made for a film project as a supplemental virtual effects element to play in the background of a scene. Since MH370 was not in the news at the time, the creator fashioned his work loosely on that event and added in the UFO aspect. The videos are 100% fake. And here's the music video that Joe Lancaster was responsible for creating the virtual effects for both videos. And this is one of the music videos. So again, that's an on-the-record, real virtual effects expert who says the videos are faked, and I faked them, and here's how I faked them. Excuses from the Ashton camp. Area 503 says, this is why I never wanted to get involved in this MH370 conspiracy theory, because the videos have been debunked multiple times, and the architect of this story chooses to block, ignore, counter facts while cherry-picking speculative data to fill his narrative. Yeah, in other words, speculative data. Somebody that's a virtual effects expert with 20 plus years in virtual effects comes out and says, these videos are fake and here's why. And Ashton just says, no, they're not. I have my fake Reddit posters who say that the videos are real and here's why. You know, it's ridiculous. What Ashton has to do is he has to understand the standards of evidence. If you've got 4, or I believe we could get 10 virtual effects artists look at these videos and say, these are fake and here's why, then he needs to get 10 on the record, real virtual effects artists, not fake Reddit posters, not people he hasn't even vetted are who they say they are, and he has to bring them forward to refute the claims of the 20 plus year virtual effects experts that have looked at this. We've got 3 or 4 on Quarter Clue alone that have looked at this and said, these videos are fake and here's why. You can't just say, I debunked the debunks. That's called research by proclamation. He has to equal the evidence. So if Quarter Crew has 3 20-plus year virtual effects artists that say the videos are fake and here's why, then Ashton needs 3 or 4 20-plus year virtual effects on the record, real virtual effects artists that will say those guys are wrong and here's why. He doesn't do that. He cherry picks and brings garbage data forward to refute real experts. It's garbage peddling 101. Previous debunks that were ignored. 1, the pyromania portal effect was found. Yes, it was used in a video game, among other things, and somebody found the exact effect from the portal effect. But it doesn't match pixel for pixel 100%. It's so close, it's ridiculous. And for him to continue to refute it shows that he's not being honest in his research effort. He's just looking for an excuse to excuse away real evidence. That's real evidence, right? And some of these people demanding shit on Twitter, I love. Somebody demanded earlier that I recreate it using, certain assets and share the, no, the burden of proof is on the person making the fantastic claims. How about Ashton proves that a goddamn airplane, a fucking 747, teleported out of the goddamn sky? How about he proves that? Nobody has to. And by the way, there's Brandolini's law. Look it up. Brandolini's law states that the amount of evidence required to refute bullshit is orders of magnitude more than it takes to create it. Look at those virtual effects artists from Quarter Crew. They had to spend an hour or 2 looking at the video, trying different things, figuring out how you could fake it, and explaining it. Then we get to Ashton, and he just says, nope, we debunked their debunk. Do you understand? Brandolini's law. The amount of effort required to refute the BS is orders of magnitude more than it takes to create it. Ashton could just say anything. Oh, look, there's a Reddit poster that says he was the virtual effects lead on Top Gun Maverick. Did you ever prove that, Ashton? Or are you just taking the word of some anonymous Reddit poster you haven't even vetted is who they say they are? You can look up Top Gun Maverick, go find out who the virtual effects is, call them, get them on the record, ask them if they're that Reddit poster. Did you do that? And people say, you should do that, Stephen. No, I'm not making the claim. And by the way, Ashton has made that claim on multiple podcasts that the head of virtual effects for Top Gun Maverick said the videos cannot be fake. Great. Then get the guy on the record. Why don't you have him on your show? Right? But he never does that. So going on podcasts using fake evidence is bullshit. Why are we still talking about this? It's ridiculous. Oh, we're not through. The photographer of the clouds, Jonas, came forward. Surprise AF. Ashton blocked the creator of the clouds. So in other words, somebody took those cloud pictures and prove that they took those cloud pictures and prove that he sold them to textures.com or whatever website somebody downloaded them from. And then the original photographer of the clouds proved that it was his photos and how you could splice those photos together to make the fake background of these videos. What does Ashton do? Say that it's not true and block them, right? And give more excuses for why that's not valid evidence. It's welcome to Dumb Excuses 101. Hoaxer excuses. Oh, the photographer who took the picture of the clouds that were used to fake this hoax came forward and proved that he took the pictures and put them on a Textures website back then? Oh, no, we have to come up with some excuses. Oh, they're not available on Wayback at certain times or dates. So that guy's not telling the truth. Bullshit. This photographer is, again, a real on-the-record source, right? And he showed his receipts and an on-the-record statement from the website that was selling the video, selling those assets that were used to create the fake videos. And by the way, anybody can get those assets, right? Anybody. And see, they have a sense of humor. They put a UFO over the assets. These are the assets used to create the fake background. And they 100% match the background. Is that a coincidence, Ashton? Like, what? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And here we could see a GIF file. The lighter one is the actual picture that this person took and showed receipts and proof that he took those pictures of those clouds. And the other is the video using those assets to create a fake background. But we're still going to argue that those pictures couldn't have been used to create this fake video. And I love the other thing. Oh, no, everybody that's looked at these videos has said that they're static. They don't move, right? Real 20-year plus veterans of virtual effects look at them. And by the way, I looked at them before Quarter Crew and said that background is a composite that's made from still images. And I'm no virtual effects expert, but I have video editing experience. I've done some After Effects and animation work. I can look at them and say that the video is fake, that the video is using fake still images. Oh, no, we proved that the clouds are moving. Ashton is not a virtual effects expert. Show me a virtual effects expert that is on par with the experience level of Quarter Crew that agrees with Ashton. He can't. He won't, right? It's just research by proclamation. Oh, no, we proved the clouds are moving. No, you didn't. You can zoom in on them. You can do anything you want to do. And Quarter Crew proved that if these images video were taken from the satellite, there'd be huge movement in these clouds. And the clouds would be moving. And the scene would be moving. It's not, because it's CGI. It's a fake. I think we have Manny back here. Let me get back to his thread. Okay, calibdownload.rar, a RAR file where somebody recognized Ashton's desire to be proved right and sent him a RAR file full of garbage that allegedly held confirming evidence. Ashton naively donated $3,000 for this file, but removed the live streams of that fiasco to save face. Yeah, that's suspicious as well, right? Area 503 goes on to say, and that is just the debunks of the videos. That doesn't even touch on the physical evidence countering Ashton's conspiracy theories, such as the wreckage of the plane being found. Well, there's a great number of pieces of the wreckage. They have to refute all the physical evidence as well. A flight simulator found in the pilot's residence where he was practicing the doomed flight, etc., etc. Do I expect any of these facts to convince Ashton he is wrong and admit the videos are fake? Absolutely not. I suspect Ashton will not be happy until his bias is confirmed and he is cheered by the people for exposing a massive conspiracy. Unfortunately for Ashton, all the other evidence he has aggregated of other people's work also hinges on the videos being real, which they are not, or are based on speculation and must be discounted. Yeah, so that's pretty much the thread that really knocks this to shit. I don't know if Manny is back. Are you back, Manny?
Yeah, is my audio any better?
Not really. I don't know if your internet is a potato all of a sudden. What happened?
PC, I've been putting it through the ringer on this, trying to get these film deliverables done. I think I might have burned up the CPU. I got to replace my hardware.
Great. That's bad timing for us here. I was hoping to hear more from you. Do you want to call my cell phone? I'll give you my cell phone number and we'll just put you on speaker here and we'll try to continue the conversation that way. Either way,
Yeah,
I'm
let me
going
jump
to
on my phone.
Either way, I'm going to get shit from these audio file people, but that'll be a little better. Let me send you my cell phone. I'll be right back to you. 1 second, okay? Me.
Yeah, it is just a bunch of excuses. I mean, and this is something that I remember saying a couple of weeks back when somebody asked me, they asked me about this and they said, could you recreate that? And I said, yeah, I could recreate that. I don't know all of the techniques that were used, but by that point, the cloud texture from Jonas was already out there. The portal mania or the pyromania portal effect was already out there. You know, so when you have all those elements, you're only a wireframe model away from, you know, making the video. But I also remember saying, I'm not going to take the time to do that because I forecasted exactly what these guys were going to say. I said, if it's not pixel perfect, they're going to claim it's not real. It doesn't matter if you get 98% of it right. And that's because people like Ashton don't know anything about VFX. They don't understand the billions of different variables that go into creating something like that, like warp skew effects and particle generators and smoke and cloud and opacity settings and different plates with noise on them and things like that. He just doesn't get it. And even worse, instead of just asking the creator of the recreation to explain those answers, or I guess he did, but when the creator started to answer those questions for him, he just got mad and blocked him. He just blocked him. So he could have had all of his questions answered, and he did. He just didn't like the answers that he was given because they didn't fit his narrative. And that's the MO that you're going to see time and time again, is that he just asks a few questions, comes up with enough of a reason to rationalize, or as he calls it, debunk these debunks, and then he moves on as if it's still a fact. But all through this, there's been just stacks and stacks of people who have called him out or tried to confront him or tried to educate him, and he doesn't want to hear it. He blocks them and he moves on. He blocks them and he moves on. You know, it's just it's kind of sad. I mean, but it's also kind of funny. I mean, it really is. It's just kind of a joke. I mean, why? Like you said at the beginning of the stream before I started rubber banding and had to ping pong out. You know, like the whole thing's just it's kind of a waste of time. It's silly. It's ridiculous, and nobody should be believing what this guy's peddling because it's all speculative garbage from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, and one of the other things I love that he says he found the leaker of the videos, right? He says he found the leaker of the videos, but he didn't interview that person. He didn't confirm that person leaked them. But oh no, I'm 99% sure this is the guy that leaked the videos, and here's why. And then you got to connect a whole bunch of dots that don't make any sense. And, you know, this person was arrested for leaking classified material, but there was no mention.
Yeah, that was just a speculative shit show, man. Like, I laughed so hard when he said that. When he said I think C. Thomas Lynn, whoever it was, he said that guy was the guy who leaked him. And his answer was, when Chris talked to him about it and asked him about it, his answer was, well, what else could it have been but MH370? That's his answer. And Chris explained it to him. And he got attacked for it, man. And it was straw man arguments, ad hominem attacks. I mean, there's no evidence whatsoever that Lynn leaked the MH370 videos. And in fact, there's a mountain of evidence that shows that he didn't. Like the fact that we know the guy who fucking made him in the first place. You know what I mean? Like the guy was here. He almost came on the show today.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm going to interview the person. I'm going to do what Ashton should have done, and I'm going to interview the person who claims he made the video. So anytime that he's available to do it, I'm going to reach out to him. He reached back out to Manny and said, "Oh, I can't make the show tonight, but he was going to do it tonight. He just has something that." You know, he had a pre-existing commitment here and heard about it last minute. But he's going to come on our show and we'll talk to him about it. And you know, one of these other issues is all the false statements that Ashton has made. Oh, it would take 6 months to recreate it. Then how come everybody's recreating it in a day that gives it a try? And I get it's not 100% exact, but like how much effort do we have to go through to prove you wrong? You said it would take 6 months and tremendous resources. Meanwhile, anybody with the PC and a little bit of software that tried it took a day and did it, or at least did it to most people's satisfaction. We're looking at on screen now. These are hardly distinguishable. They're so close.
Yeah. So the recreation that was done by the user named Tony Adams, I have a lot of respect for Tony, and I hope he's listening and hears this. I have mad respect for Tony because Tony is a guy who does videos and stuff, but he's not a VFX guy. And he looked at this as a challenge because he saw that the assets were there, like the Pyromania portal and the clouds and stuff. And he looked at this as a challenge, as a way to teach himself some new tricks in After Effects. And I have mad respect for that.
Yeah, so it's not even an expert. It's somebody that's just learning, and they could do it. Meanwhile, Ashton is telling people it would take 6 months and a whole studio full of, you know, experts and all these resources. And no, there's hobbyists that are doing it in a day.
Oh my God, dude, that is so fucking funny because the guy who made it, Tony, he said that, yeah, it took him a few days to work on, but most of that was learning how to do new things. Now that he knows how to do those, he feels like he could have done the recreation in less than an hour.
Yeah,
so
and he said that he could do it better with more time, but he didn't. He only put so much time into it. So, of course, you could do better if you put a couple more days into it. You can make it more exact, you know, but it's so close now. And for Ashton to say these can't be recreated, and then they are multiple times, and he just comes up with new, you're right, he just comes up with new excuses and rolls on to the next part of the grift, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. That's his MO. And it's not just with the videos, it's with everything else. Every time you bring up something like, you know, the wreckage, he's got 1,000,001 excuses for that. And then he just rolls onto it. They're excuses, they're rationalizations, and then he calls them debunks. You know, it's absolutely, it's comical. It really is comical. I don't know any other way to say it, but you know, I try to get offended by it, but I just can't, man, because it's such a fucking shit show. It's such a shit show. The guy doesn't even realize, like, he's so self-unaware that he doesn't even understand that he looks like a fucking fool in front of everybody with his stupid arguments and his ad hominem attacks. But as long as there's 5 little Twitter followers and he gets his few little people to watch his live stream, he doesn't care. That's all he cares about. So, you know, great, man. I'm glad he's got his little echo chamber, but it's an echo chamber of idiots.
And an estimate of the situation just shared something on Twitter. 2 frames, 49 frames apart, contrast adjusted as well as clarity. I'm sharing it on my screen now if you want to monitor what we're sharing on the screen so you know what we're talking about. What are the odds that we see an orb line up at exactly the same spot relative to the plane at a frame difference that is multiple of 24 frames per second with exactly the same noise profile around the plane? We see this again in another set of frames, and you guessed it, 49 frames apart. And why is there a false color filter added onto the footage after the fact? Happy to be wrong here, but it looks like this is a virtual effects job, and we'll share what he found. In other words, you know, is it mathematically perfect? These orbs are going around mathematically perfect?
Yes, it is, and I can explain to you why, which is something that the original creator of the video explained. And this is why I laugh so hard when Ashton, and people are like, oh, he didn't make it. I'm like, well, he knew the answer to this. He was the creator because there was an error during render where 1 frame from the noise got dropped off of the render. So he
and then 2014, when you rendered an animation, it was very common that you had a few frames would drop, right? That's how I remember it.
Right, so he had 1 frame that was dropped, and instead of re-rendering the whole thing, he just went back 2 seconds and grabbed a frame and slapped it in there. 100%. And that shows that not only is it CGI, but that Joe is the guy who made it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so ridiculous. This clown show where people are just like, oh my God, it's not frame perfect. It's just so it's so sad and pathetic and funny to some degree to just watch this guy die on this hill that's been debunked time after time after time. And he just does not want to accept the reality that it's fake.
I think that he is in denial. Like, you know, there was a point, and it's in my Discord, where I said no amount of evidence will ever be enough for him to back down and say I was wrong. You know, at some point you have to go. You know, and I've heard him say the vast majority of the preponderance of the evidence say the videos are real. What vast majority of the evidence? The evidence in Fantasyland, where you're from? Because all the evidence from available experts say the videos are fake, and here's why. And by the way, we have another recreation that somebody made that looks exact as well. And this one I'm going to share
on board. For Ashton, these videos are 100% real. And he's wrong. But before I tell you why I think he's wrong, I wanted to see what I would do if I was going to hoax a video like this. I wanted to make one for myself.
And just to be clear, this guy did this in a day as well, and he's no huge expert.
And also because Ashton directly challenged me. Okay, he didn't, but
yeah, it's really kind of
you
sad.
see,
Like you
whilst
said,
being interviewed on another YouTuber's live stream.
Oh, hold on, we're playing the video right now of the recreation. Just hold on for a second.
Ashton kept saying the videos would be extremely hard or impossible to fake.
So this is extremely difficult if they had faked this.
He said that he had even consulted with visual effects artists that had worked on Top Gun Maverick and Marvel movies.
Marvel VFX lead who also claimed it would take at least 6 months.
But as a motion graphics designer and someone who has dabbled a bit with VFX in his career, I was sure that I could do something that was similar or pretty good in much less time. But first, let's do a quick refresher on what this whole thing is about.
All right, we're going to skip the background because we all know the background of the story. We'll get to the part where he does his editing. Oh, 1 second. I didn't, let me get past the commercial here and we'll go back to it. I apologize. One moment. All right, here we go. Let me put that back on the screen. So, you know, and by the way, I found some more people who recreated it. And every one of the recreations is, you know, it's not going to be pixel perfect, but they're pretty close.
This is my ingredient.
Now there's a commercial for the guy. He's got a built-in commercial. Okay, hold on.
Bank in the way that it does in the original video, a 3D model was really the only way to go. Once I had the model into my 3D program, I animated it along a simple path, turning and banking in roughly the same way as it does in the video. Next, I made some aliens. Other advanced technologies are available. I animated these flying in and then circling the plane. And I'm only about 20 minutes in and I have the basics of my video done already.
Matty, he just said he's only 20 minutes into recreating the video and he's already got the basics of the video down. He's got the 3D model of the plane, he's got the orbs, he's got the flight path in 20 minutes. So Ashton has made provably false statements claiming that it would take 6 months and all these resources. And again, this guy didn't call him out. Those virtual effects artists that he's saying are from Marvel or from Top Gun Maverick, he never proved are actually who they say they are. That those aren't on the record sources. Those are bullshit sources, right?
Yeah, that's not confirmed at all. And if they're going to step up and try to refute Corridor Crew, who's got like 40 some odd years of experience between the 3 or 4 of them, then they should at least put their name behind that. That's some chicken ass shit to use a random guy who's like, I'm a Marvel dude on Twitter or Reddit or Twitter, wherever you found him. I don't know where you found him, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, we've proven that the video, yes, can be recreated.
But he's still using the Marvel head talking points and Top Gun Maverick talking points from random randos on Reddit. He hasn't even proved they are who they say they are. How can you put that in your arguments? It's like me, can I just post randomly on Reddit? The videos are fake and I made them, and then you accept it? No. You need some evidence to go with that of who the person is and whatever. Let me finish playing this recreation.
Now I'm heading over into Adobe After Effects, the tool I'm going to use to composite the plane and the clouds and to add all the effects to make it look like it was filmed on a potato. So I have a plane and I have some UFOs, and now I need some clouds. I went online, but I was struggling to find a good high-res image from the right angle. So then I figured that I could get a bunch of individual clouds and put them into a particle generator and make them that way. Bingo. Next is
So this guy used a particle generator to make some random clouds and make the still image background, but it looks pretty close to the original.
And I knew this one would be easy.
Oh, but it's not frame perfect, which means it doesn't count because it's.
Oh yeah, that's the excuse. Oh no, the clouds are different. The clouds are different. And this guy used the exact particle, the portal image thing that was used in the original
video. A bunch
video.
of stock footage that I'd already used on other projects.
Right, there's, like I said, there's a billion different variables that you can do when you're animating a portal effect like that, to where you can...
Yeah, you can turn it, bend it, pull it, push it.
Absolutely. Stretch, skew it, frame by frame even.
Yeah.
You know, and you can get down into like billions and billions of permutations of what the original settings were. And I even wager that the original creator, Joe, if he was given just the assets that he made, would have a hard time recreating that frame by frame because of all of those different variables
yeah.
that were in a 10-year-old, animation that he did for just, for a student art film, I think it was. Yeah, he's not going to remember exactly what he had for opacity settings and bit rates and how he tracked the different maps to each other. He probably would remember the broad strokes of creating the animation. But come on, that guy's a professional VFX artist. How many hundreds, if not thousands, of projects has he done in 10 years? And people want to try to nitpick and be like, "Oh, he's not the guy who made it. He can't show me exactly how he made it. He doesn't have the source files." He can't show the
original files. Yeah. Let me continue this recreation video for a few minutes here.
In touch would be to add all the nasty compression like we see in the original video.
He wouldn't have the source files. I mean, why would he?
Yeah, exactly.
Help it all blend together and make it harder for debunkers to find fault. Voila. Instant potato. All in all, I'm not unhappy with the result. It's not perfect and it's not exactly the same as the original, but that was never really the goal. The goal was to see how much I could do with very limited amount of time to see whether a hoax would even be possible. I only spent about an hour and a half on it. And that's
So this guy did his recreation, Manny, in an hour and a half. He did it in 90 minutes, and Ashton said it would take 6 months. And his fake virtual effects people said it would take 6 months.
A fair bit quicker than the Marvel VFX artist's estimation of 6
But it took this guy 90 minutes and when he never did it before.
He did it 1,460 times quicker than Ashton said it could be done. It's just, at some point you go, what more do you need before you say that Ashton's not being honest here? And then we can go to the static images. First satellite video fully debunked. The source for the clouds was found. So, they found the exact source of the clouds that were used to create the background in the hoax. We've got the original person who took the pictures with receipts from his flight and an on-the-record statement from the textures.com website saying, yes, he sold us those assets and we sold it as an asset pack. And I'll share the tab with it's the same assets. Those clouds are the same as the person who took the picture showed. And again, it doesn't match up exactly. But again, when you're creating a composite, you're going to stretch, skew, resize. So it's never going to match 100% exactly. That's a bullshit argument. Oh, you guys have to do it 100% pixel by pixel or the videos aren't debunked. It just shows that they're being dishonest in their efforts here.
100% they're being dishonest, Stephen. And this right here is kind of exemplary of everything that goes on here. Every time that there's been a debunk, like when the Jonas clouds came out, I thought, okay, good, game over. Now everyone knows. Look, the cloud texture's out there. There's zero probability that that's an actual satellite image because there's no probability, none, that the satellite would have the same exact images from a picture taken from a plane. So that shows right here that these were stock images. This is CGI and it's fake. And yet you see the mental gymnastics that a clown like Ashton goes through to discount it, and talks shit. He did a whole stream about how he's talking shit about Jonas and how he's suspect. And there's all these different little
reasons. Well, you just got to muddy the waters, right, Manny? Just muddy the waters enough for the people to still believe it. Just put enough doubt that guy's not on the record. By the way, that guy hasn't been caught lying. Ashton's been caught lying, in my view, or at least being dishonest, using fake Reddit posters as the evidence. And somebody put up a great message in the live chat. He's on his stream saying he hasn't made any money, but he's made $5,000 already, and his super chats prove it. They've been totaled up. So he made at least 5,000 in super chats, plus the ad 100%. Revenue, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of monetized views. His channel is monetized. It's added up, $6 per 1,000 monetized views. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of monetized views, plus $5,000 in super chats. He's probably made $10,000 or $20,000 from this. Show
to be
your
fair, he
YouTube
also lost
statistics. Prove you haven't made
for-
any money. Of course he has made money. And so have all of his friends that have platformed him. You know, there's some podcasts that had him on 5 times because they love the view count, right? So they're all making money to sit there and do the circle jerk and not show any of the evidence we're showing tonight.
Yeah, they definitely are making money. And Ashton's made a lot of money off the super chats as well, just like you said. I know that during the Caleb RAR download fiasco, I was watching one show where within 10 minutes he had gotten almost $300 in super chats. You know, so like I don't know what his total numbers are, and I don't really care. But for him to say that he's not making money off this is a little disingenuous. In fact, you know, you could call it a lie. I mean, sure, he's definitely making money off it. But honestly, I don't think he's in it for the money. I think he's in it for the ego.
Oh, Ashton says he hasn't asked to come on the show, hasn't been asked to come on the show to defend himself. Well, considering Lou's connection problems, I'd be happy to do that with him and Lou another time, because if I bring Ashton on, you know, with the situation we have right now, they can't really converse back and forth right now. Or, you know, I don't know, if we let Manny go and I'll bring him on, I'd be happy to send him an invitation. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to bullshit for 2 hours. Either he brings evidence or I'm hanging up on him. I'm not going to sit here and listen to fake excuses and bullshit arguments for 2 hours. I have no obligation to do that. He's been dishonest about this thing from the very beginning.
Yeah, you know, maybe I can try to connect through the browser on my phone so you can bring us both in. If Ashton wants to come on, bring him on, man. Bring him on.
Yeah, you want to try that? Let's give it a try. I got a few more things to share, so you've got 5 minutes to set it up or get it ready, or maybe you have a spare. I don't know if you have a laptop besides your desktop or something that you could try, but that connection was terrible. I don't know why. It's always been good before when you've come on.
Yeah, I'm having hardware issues, like I said. Let me try to get on my phone and see if I can get in, and then you can bring in Ashton. I'd love to hear what he has to say about this.
All right, let's give that a try. Yeah, I think you just need headphones, and then your phone mic should suffice. You should be able to connect through StreamYard through your phone.
Yeah, definitely. Let me try it.
All right, great. Bye-bye. All right, I apologize again for the problems. We're going to try to get Manny back here. I'm just playing this recreation yet again. And there's some other things that I could certainly share. I will say this, not every podcast just did the circle jerk. And I think Danny Jones, despite whatever I think about him for other guests, you know, and platforming certain people, he at least tried to, you know, hold Ashton's feet to the fire.
That's real. It's not fake. So putting received date 4 days after the plane went down, that makes sense because they want to convince people that it was right after.
So the narrative that you're building right now is that Regicide Anon is somehow in on it, that they are somehow involved in producing it. Right?
That's the speculation. Yes.
So that's the problem now, is that you have to begin, if you want to think these videos are fake, you have to begin with Regicide Anon somehow being involved in it. And now this is immediately going to be contrary to the previous assertion that perhaps the military had to be involved in it. And this is part of the reason why we've ruled that narrative out, is that you can't have both be true unless you think Regicide Anon is part of the military industrial complex. But what we just saw from the previous image, he has stuff that says debunked. He's not doing what you just claimed.
And he also has videos of ghosts of boys who drowned.
Right. So this isn't exactly the most credible. This doesn't scream to me a person who's trying to convince people that stuff is real. This also doesn't scream to me this is a person who's CGI and stuff themselves. This is just somebody who's being given videos that they are posting on the internet. Right.
What does that mean? Do you know what that?
But there's no way to know that because this is all speculation on the part of Ashton.
Videos subidos means? What does that mean in Spanish?
I don't know where we're looking here.
See where it says under videos, it says videos subidos, and
let's get to the one.
If you're doing that, then you're
butt comments, right? Oh, 2 buttholes look alike. Doesn't mean they're the same.
Instinctively matching left to right, right? In an original work, you're being creative. You're creating your own thing, right? In that situation, you're not going to take a visual effect, and then you're not going to be able to modify it to what we see in our videos because you don't have the frame of reference to modify it like that. You can only do that after the fact.
Okay, well, if I'm trying to make a video of a plane disappearing inside of an explosion,
You would use an explosion, yes.
I would use an explosion effect. I
And-
wouldn't make the that would be the most obvious thing I would do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So why did they not use an explosion effect?
They did use an explosion effect, but Ashton is unwilling to accept that they did, citing stupid arguments. Oh, it doesn't match 100%, doesn't match pixel by pixel. But we've got an explanation for that in the other videos. People stretch things, people move things. Let's go back over to this video.
You have damning evidence as well?
I have damning testimony. What? I found the stock footage. You did? Yeah, rather, we didn't. Some people on Reddit did. This is a stock footage clip from the 90s.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's the clip from the video, and here is the stock footage.
The Corridor crew debunked the whole thing with one trip to Reddit. But I couldn't just take their word for it. I had to check it for myself. I tracked down the Reddit post, found the link to the stock footage,
and by the way, this guy is very honest in that he will say it doesn't match 100%. And I agree, it doesn't match 100% because people stretch things, move things, resize things, skew things.
Hit download.
It's so close, though, that the odds of it being anything else is astronomical.
Heart was pounding. It felt like I was solving some kind of huge, world-changing mystery, even though I definitely wasn't. Boom. I got it into Adobe After Effects and started scaling, rotating, repositioning, all the time hearing Ashton's words in my head.
This is like saying that my butthole is your butthole because they're similar.
Oh, the butthole argument.
And there it was. Ashton was right. The clips didn't exactly line up. The shape in purple is the original footage, and the shape in green is the overlaid stock footage. They were close, but it still wasn't right. And then it struck me. Visual effects is not a strict process. Artists are always stretching and warping images to fit their purposes. What if the hoaxer had just distorted the stock footage during the creative process?
It could also be that he added some sort of filter to it, some sort of overlay, changed the size, the position. Any change to the original footage would mean that it won't 100% pixel by pixel match. And, you know, Ashton's pixel by pixel argument falls apart. From anybody that knows anything about creating virtual effects knows that people change things. They skew them, they resize to fit whatever, you know, rescale, rotate. Any little change or filter would mean it would not fit 100% pixel by pixel.
So I stretched it just a little bit. And bingo, virtually a perfect fit. And with the random nature of explosions, I find it incredibly hard to fathom the odds of these two shapes lining up so closely. But what about all of Ashton's really quite compelling evidence? You know, the weather conditions, the satellite data, the Boeing 777 turning circle. Could a hoaxer have just got really lucky?
Yeah, I believe that a hoaxer could get lucky. And let's go back to this one where he's citing fake virtual effects artists.
So here's the thing. Let's pull it up and see. I have the superimposed one right here.
Oh, there's
So let's look at this together.
Okay.
So I see this is an explosion.
Are you there now, Manny? He bounced back out. Just live show
Explosion
friend.
effect.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what our video is. And so if you were faking it, you would use the explosion effect. You would have this plane blowing up. Our video is going to show an endothermic event, a cold one that's absorbing energy.
Because it's black, right?
Yeah, because it's cold in the thermal. And you can see that here we can...
And here's the nonsensical arguments for why it doesn't match while it's being shown to pretty much 99% match.
already tell that this, what we're looking at here is not the same.
There's a tool that you can use in Adobe Premiere or in Adobe Photoshop where you can invert the colors and change not only the illuminance, but you can change the balance of the colors, the vibrance of the colors, and you can basically invert something that's black to white, or you can change something. You can even change the color from purple to pink.
Now tell me a story as why you're doing that, given the fact that we know this is an original work. Why are you not just using it like we see on the screen right now?
I don't know.
Because virtual effects artists always add things like filters or change the scale or resize it. I don't know. When I use an effect, I almost never use it completely and totally stock. Are you there now, Manny?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's much better. At least we've got a decent connection. Sorry about no video, friends, but at least he's got a decent connection. So let me get the invitation link, and I'll see if I can't send it to Ashton. We certainly wouldn't mind hearing his his explanation for all of these things.
Yeah, well, you do that, Stephen. Let me just say something here too. Like, Ashton wants to argue about the VFX in both the recreation and the original hoaxed video, the original CGI one. And if he had questions, he should have asked the people who made them instead of blocking them and ignoring them and then calling them losers on his live stream and sticking his morally devoid fans to go fucking attack him like a clown. Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. He wants me to explain why somebody else did something, and he could have just asked that guy, or he did, and he didn't like the answer he was given. So he blocked him and ran away so he could just run with his story, man. It's absolutely childish. It's fucking comedy. When you step back from it for a second and you look, you're just like, oh my God, this is such a fucking joke. And this pencil neck Minecraft playing dweeb is gonna fucking solve a conspiracy theory. Like, I just find it so fucking funny, man. So funny. So bring him on, man. I hope he comes on. I really hope he does.
Well, his DMs are not open, so I'm sending him. DM me for invitation to join our live stream. I have the link ready. So yeah, that argument falls apart too. I mean, you know, he's free to come and try to defend this kind of stuff, but you know.
Yeah, and we'll hear the same arguments we've heard before, you know, Stephen. It'll be the same old shit. It doesn't match pixel perfect. He doesn't have the original source files. You know, it was this C. Edward Lane or whoever the guy's name is who got it, because what else could it have been? He's the one who leaked them. I mean, it's a whole house of cards that's built upon these videos being real. And newsflash, the fucking videos are fake. They're fucking fake, man. The creator has come out and said how they were made. That's the joke of the whole thing, is that every single one of his arguments, everything that he's built, just crumbles when you realize that the videos are fucking fake, man.
Yeah,
it's
and
so
I just want to show.
He's wasted so much time on this.
I want to show an example of this nameless, faceless, brand new Twitter account. All you have is on ad hominem and illogical arguments. You Matrix wannabe looking MFer. How much are sunglasses in the Matrix? Well, you know, I'm half blind, so now you're attacking somebody's disability. Maybe you should put some of that money towards an education, you effing half-wit. Like, this is what happens when you show people the truth. You bunch of delusional idiots that want to believe an idiot that's pushing long debunked videos. They were debunked in 2014 when they first came out, almost instantly. But here we are 10 years later, and people still want to argue that they're not fake. We have the still images used to fake the background. We have the explosion effect from a virtual effects pack that matches 99%, but it's not 100, so the videos still aren't debunked according to these people. It's like no amount of evidence is enough. It's Brandolini's law. How much do we have to do to prove that the videos are fake? How about Ashton proves they're real for a change?
Yeah, it's already been proved that they're fake. You know, I mean, we talked to Joe, the creator. He did a exhaustive AMA on Reddit where he answered any and all questions that people would have had. Hundreds of questions, tons and tons of questions. And he had an answer for everything that only the creator would have, including some stuff only the creator should have known, like the answer to the question posed by Estimate of the Situation about those two frames. He explained that in detail about why that happened. And I don't mean it took him an hour. I don't mean it took him days to come up with answers or that he cherry-picked answers. He answered every fucking question on there. Every question. And if Ashton wanted some answers, he should have been there. He should have been there to talk to Joe and ask questions. The problem is he just didn't like the answers that Joe was giving, which is why he blocked Joe when Joe first came to him and said, hey, I'm the one who made those. ask me anything you want. From what I understand, Joe,
I will never block somebody who's asking me valid questions or showing me evidence counter to what I've presented on my show. But when people come at me and start attacking my disability and cursing at me, yeah, especially when they're a nameless, faceless, brand new account, and I think I know for a fact, I believe that Ashton's using fake accounts. He gets emotional and pissed off when people start, trying to pull him back to reality from this nonsense, mission that he's been on. And no matter what he does, he's never going to prove those videos are real. He's never going to prove it. There's just too much.
Yeah, you can't, because they're not real. They're fake. There's no if anymore. The creator's been found. And this is part of the thing that really rubs me raw. And I didn't even get a chance to explain this. But, when all this MH370 stuff came down and it got hot again, a year or two ago on Reddit, which is, I think, where Ashton glommed onto it, I didn't even buy into it because I had already looked at this stuff and I was over it. I'm like, this is all garbage. I'm not into it. It's bad taste to bring this up to the victims of the family. It's just bad taste. And so I stayed out of it. Now, last Friday, I was in that space with Ashton, and I had said something along the lines of, we'll never be able to prove or disprove that this is fake or real unless the original creator comes forward. And Ashton was in that space, and he knew damn well that the original creator had come out months before that, and tried to contact him. And he had blocked him and ignored him and discounted his opinion and found reasons to not listen to him. And he didn't mention any of that. He didn't say, oh, well, we know who the creator is. It's this guy named Joe. Hell no, he didn't. He sat there with his mouth shut like a fucking gimp and let people just think that the original creator has never been found. The original creator's out there. His name is Joe Lancaster. He almost came on the stream today with us to talk about this because we'll actually talk to him. And
we'll try to get him on. Yeah, we'll talk to him and hear his evidence. But it appears to me that they're just going to excuse that away too. Like, oh well, he can't produce the files, therefore we can't believe him.
Of course they are, Stephen. 100%, man. There's no amount of evidence that is going to convince Ashton Forbes that his hill that he chose to die on and his only claim to 10 minutes of shame is going to be going away because it's all predicated on a couple of fake videos, which, by the way, folks, and I'm not sure if you know this, there was actually 3 videos that Joe made, not 2. 2 of which got leaked out, but the third wasn't leaked out. It was a cell phone footage of the same event from inside the plane. And he said that the reason he believed that it didn't get leaked out was because it looked like crap and it was easy to tell it was CGI. So there's a third video out there that this guy's made about this. It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that somebody can take a couple of debunked videos on the internet and turn them into a conspiracy theory that, I guess a lot of people still believe is frightening to me. What's next? If Ashton Forbes can do this, holy crap, man. And I know he couldn't do it alone. He had to have gotten platformed by some big name YouTubers and big name podcasters.
Well, they all made money.
Onto a couple other people's clout.
They all made money.
Right. Yeah. Because their UFO stuff and their conspiracy theory stuff is the biggest, performing videos they've done. It's scary, man. It's scary. It really is. I hope people really do wake up and say, God, I need to be a little bit more skeptical about some of this stuff and question some of it. And when people are trying to call it out time after time again and have made good points like finding the clouds or finding the portal video or recreating the video or actually finding the guy who made it, maybe you should pay a little bit better attention, people. And I know a lot of people did and just discounted it, but a lot of people still believe this crap, and it's ridiculous, man. It's just it's a comedy of fools, man. A bunch of clowns who don't care about investigating any claims or counterpoints and only care about making clicks and views and making money. And then on the other side, you got a guy like Ashton who's in it, I believe, for his ego. Just to stroke his woefully deficient ego and give him his little shot in the limelight. Well, hoorah, man. You got it. You got it, boy.
I just wanted to apologize because I see the bunch of super chats and everybody knows we read them all, but we'll read them a little bit later in the show. I had too many things going on and, problems to juggle here, but I wanted to share the Corridor Crew video for the benefit of people who haven't seen it because it's like 6 minutes long, but and the issue that I have with Ashton, a big issue that I have with him is that he doesn't understand standards of evidence. If we were in a court of law and I brought in 3 or 4 virtual effects experts with, you know, a proven track record and experience level and education level in virtual effects, and those 3 or 4 experts all said these videos are fake and here's why, the court would not accept Ashton just saying, but some anonymous Reddit posters said that they're from Marvel or from Top Gun Maverick, and they said the debunks are debunked. Like they wouldn't accept that. There's standards of evidence. You need the same level of show me your 4 virtual effects artists that say that these guys are wrong and explain why they're wrong. He can't and he won't.
Yeah, he won't, Stephen. It's textbook confirmation bias is what it is. He will only listen to evidence that supports his claim, and he will find any excuse, no matter how ridiculous, to discount anything that doesn't fit his narrative, man. Like, and it's almost, I laugh about it, but it's kind of sad. Exactly. It's funny, but it's also sad.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
And, at some point when you observe that this person will not accept any level of evidence that the videos are fake, at some point you have to admit he's not going to accept any proof that the videos are fake. He's just going to explain away, muddy the waters, deny, try to punch holes in the debunks if you can. They're not pixel perfect. It's not 100% a match, but let's do the quarter. They debunked this pretty good.
Talking about them again. People claiming they have undeniable proof that they're real. Let's start by watching clips.
Oh. Okay, that's a white thing. The whole frame gets brighter.
So one of our base requirements is multiple witnesses, multiple camera angles. This one comes with a second clip.
Just like what is this plane doing? They're taking like evasive maneuvers? Who's filming this? Like, what's going on? Like, it's also, why is it so shaky? Because it's like should be on a nice smooth gimbal. But...
There you have it.
It's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
Wouldn't that be cool if that was real? Well, actually, no, that'd be terrible because there's a lot of people on that plane. Although I guess they're not dying; they're going in a new dimension.
Yeah, they might be living it up.
The YouTube channel, since this was uploaded, does not exist. No original footage, just YouTube videos.
It's not good.
When your original footage is a YouTube video, yeah, that's a step. Guys, is this real or is this VFX?
I'm getting VFX-y vibes right now.
The first angle is something you could do very simply. The second one is way weirder.
So people have said that because these came out so quickly after the airline disappeared, that it'd be impossible to do these visual effects. How fast could you guys do these shots?
2 months.
Real fast.
Yeah.
As little as an hour.
As
long as 4 to 5.
Yeah, and there you go. That also is a real virtual effects artist who's refuting Ashton's claim that it would take 6 months and he couldn't have faked these. It would take too long to fake them. There was 2 months between the original plane disappearing and the fake videos appearing on the internet. It's plenty of time to make these fake videos, in my opinion, and in the opinion of real virtual effects experts.
I love the fact that he said an hour there.
Okay.
Yeah, he said an hour. Well, that other guy said he did the majority of the work to recreate them in 20 minutes. So again, Ashton is talking out of his ass when he says it would take 6 months. He said that on how many podcasts has he said it would take 6 months? You couldn't do these in that short amount of time, in 2 months' time. You couldn't do it. Meanwhile, real virtual effects artists who know what they're doing and talking about are saying an hour. The other guy, he did the vast majority of the work to do the recreation in 20 minutes.
Okay. After analyzing this footage, it became clear to me that this is visual effects. The thing that stands out most to me is we go back to that first clip. Let's look at the background. Are we a satellite? Assume we're a satellite. Do you know something weird about the background?
Oh, that the clouds are not evolving in any way, shape, or form.
Nothing's evolving.
Yeah, clouds don't stay that still for 30 seconds at a time. And I don't know, I've been over the background. There's no movement to my eye, but I'm not an expert. But these experts say there's no movement of the clouds. Ashton refutes that with bullshit, fake excuses and evidence.
It's a still frame.
It's a still frame. Thank you, Ren. Hey, guys, how fast do satellites go?
17,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Would you jump to footage of the International Space Station?
Oh, damn!
Look, the fact of the matter is, that's satellite footage. The satellite needs to be moving. It can't be static. There would be parallax between the clouds and the ground. That's a big one. But you know what? That doesn't rule out that thermal shot, right? What's up with that thermal shot? Thermal cameras, like they don't have grain. It's not underexposed footage. And if there's any sort of noise pattern, notice it's a fixed noise pattern. It's the idea of like your image is under almost like a dirty lens.
How do you make it look like it's thermal? Well, there's a filter in After Effects called Colorama. What Colorama does is it goes, all right, let's take black to white, and instead of do black to white, we're going to fill it in with different colors along the way, a rainbow, a spectrum. And then, you know, that looks like thermal footage, it's just not accurate. However, in this case, we see the engines are hot, so maybe you go in, touched up the engines, give them a little, track some like heat points on.
So they were able to recreate the fake thermal in seconds with a filter. I think that's
it's
pretty
not
good evidence. This doesn't take 6 months to do it, you know?
No, it doesn't. These are some pretty basic VFX techniques and tools that they're talking about here. We're not talking about the the end scene from Avengers Endgame. You know, we're not talking about Marvel level stuff here. This is stuff that pretty much that I could do, and I'm by no means a VFX expert.
Me too.
But I do know After Effects. You know, and I could do this stuff.
One weird thing I'm noticing with the thermals is on that shockwave in the second clip. Like, how cold is that shockwave?
Wait, because
like, is that like a zero? So I'm confused why it's so dark when, like, we clearly see the engines are.
Oh, he's got an explanation for that. It's some kind of thermal effect.
Like hot points, we're getting the yellows, the reds.
Because if it's a super dark hole, why is it so bright there? And then in the other one, it's like a pitch black abyss.
The crazy thing about thermals is they see through mist and smoke and all that kind of stuff. If we look at this clip from Veritasium, we can't see them because photons can't pierce the fog. But that deep infrared, that long wavelength infrared goes right through it. The fog is invisible to infrared. So
that's another one. So some of the clouds might be invisible. The contrails would be invisible to the thermal. And they're not in the video. They're clearly visible. So there's another data point that points that this is virtual effects. This is not a real thermal video.
So those plain contrails shouldn't even be showing up on thermal.
The underlying footage is CGI. It's a 3D render.
On top of a still frame of clouds.
On top of a still frame of clouds, and the reason it is the particle effect, the trail from the plane. Those are sprites overlaid on top of each other, giving us this additive stacked opacity, which creates that buildup and the highlight that we see there. If we were to do a volumetric smoke simulation of a similar trail like that, you would see that it doesn't overlap and it has more consistent values across the whole arc, not just where it's, occluding itself. It's a CGI render.
Setting this up in 3D is almost trivially simple. You lay a path, you set an object to follow the path, you get a little triple helix for the other objects.
And by the way, Manny, these guys concur with the people who made the recreations. So we've got an awful lot of people agreeing on how this could easily be faked, but Ashton has excuses for all three of them are wrong. All three different, we've got Tony Adams, we've got the other person who did the recreation and Quarter Crew. He's saying they're all wrong. All of these experts in virtual effects are wrong. But he has no
but the guy who's admittedly, thank you, that's what I was going to say. The guy who's never touched After Effects in his life is right. He's the moral or the ultimate authority on what VFX are, not the people who do this shit for a living. And that's why it's, again, just such a joke, man. It's just, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Well, let's finish this up here.
Put a particle emitter for the contrails.
I'd be curious to see when this came out versus when the sprite trail tutorial on Video Copilot came out. I think it was roughly around this time.
But the biggest nail in the coffin is we made this whole discussion.
Oh no,
it's not really as fun.
Do you have damning evidence as well?
I have damning testimony.
What? If you tell me that this is the shockwave.
Do we have this shockwave on our server?
We do now, actually.
Wait, what?
So the actual asset used to fake the video, they found it. But hey, it's not pixel perfect. It's not pixel perfect. Yeah. It's not a 100% match, so they're wrong.
I found the stock footage.
You did! You found it!
Yeah, rather, we didn't. Some people on Reddit did. This is a stock footage clip from the 90s.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's the clip from the video, and here is the stock footage.
It's perfect!
It's perfect!
Cinderella, baby.
Cinderella, man.
That's it.
Slipped right on.
Wow. An ISA, dude, an identified stock asset.
Some people have said, you know, pixels don't match perfectly. And you know what? Of course they don't match perfectly. I don't have the exact settings that the artist used, but if you look at it, it's the exact same.
I can't. Yeah, like I literally can't wear these glasses anymore. Like, there's like nothing. It's just so debunked.
This is visual effects. It's really well done visual effects. So I had the joy of being a guest on a podcast, the Danny Jones podcast. They had a UFO believer who believes that this footage is real come on the podcast, and they asked me to break down if it was visual effects or not, and I presented this. Danny sent me the reaction of the UFOologist.
So as a statement of fact, those do not match.
Dude, it is exact.
This is like saying that my butthole is your butthole because they're
Oh,
similar,
the butthole
right? It's not.
argument.
We don't have the same butthole because of that.
So if you want to see our in-depth full response to this UFO believer, well, we have that on our website, corridordigital.com. We're not trying to get into a super deep back and forth here on the YouTube channel. But yeah, it's over there if you want to go check it out. And of course, you can watch the actual moment over on Danny Jones's podcast. There's a link in the description below. Go check it out.
Well, guys, I've heard your complaints. I know you're tired of looking at.
Okay, so that they debunked a bunch of other stuff. So, you know, I just think, like, how much more do you need, Manny, before you say the videos are fake? You know,
I don't need any. I'm saying they're fake right now. I'm saying that they're fake. I'll stand behind it. I could take my evidence in front of a jury of my peers and prove my case, and I feel very confident that I would win. Especially when the defense to it would be, trust me, bro, what else could it be? It's got to be real. It's Edward Lind. It's got to be real because aliens zapped shit. Like, come on, man. It's just a joke at this point, and it's a going back to what you said at the beginning of the episode here or of the podcast. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You're never going to convince.
Somebody said even Tim Pool ate him alive too. I haven't watched that whole thing. I started watching it. I just didn't get through it all. But, you know, the fact that, so, you know, I could be wrong. Maybe some people did hold his feet to the fire besides Danny Jones. Danny Jones is the only one that I saw that really said, you know, look, here's these virtual effects experts, and they all say it's fake. They all unanimously agree. So all four of them are wrong from Corridor Crew, plus the two people that did the recreations, they're wrong too. You know, at some point you have to say, you know, again, Ashton's not a virtual effects expert. So when you have all these virtual effects experts saying these are fake and here's why, he's got to come up with better than no, they're not, you know?
Yeah, the neener poo-poo defense doesn't work here. Sorry. These videos are debunked. It's game over. They're fake. They're hoaxed. And that's even not even taking into account the fact that the guy who made them come out and said, yes, they're fake. You know, like, we've got to look at all the evidence here. And when you add it all up, yes, they're fake. They're bogus. They're garbage. I mean, he did a good work. I'm not trying to talk any kind of smack on the work that Joe did. He did really good work for what he had to do in the time that he was given to do it and the assets that he was creating. He was never creating a full screen element that was supposed to be a primary shot in a picture. These were background elements. Yes, they were going to be playing on a computer screen in the background, real small, as a kind of homage or a kind of Easter egg or something like that. And, you know, they were never designed. They should never have gone to the public, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, just to be clear, you know, for people that are going to try to slag us, his DMs are not opened. And I tweeted at him, DM me for an invitation to join the live stream. I have the link ready. And that was 20 minutes ago. So, you know, he can join if he would like to, but, you know, I don't think, you know, he has avoided critical people like the plague because he kind of melts, you know, under scrutiny. He melts. He knows he can't address the specific virtual effects claims, says Kreishley TV, because he has no knowledge of them. This is why he's not engaging directly with any virtual effects experts aside from insulting and blocking them. Yeah, and why block the guy who found the assets that were used to create the hoax? And why block a guy who claims that he created the hoax? If you're you know, really honest in your research effort, you would want to go through that with those people. He has blocked them so that his followers can't see their evidence. He doesn't want to let his followers see the evidence.
100% he doesn't want him to see that the guy who made the videos come out. 100% he wants to keep his little echo chamber just like it is so that he can continue to ask these stupid freaking questions like, why isn't it pixel perfect? And have people go, yeah, it's not pixel perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Even I said it, Corridor Crew said it. Other people have said it, man. It's game over, Ashton. Game over. It's done. These things are done. They're CGI. There's just there's no coming back from this. And like I said in the tweet too, every little bit of evidence that he's got, including that there's hypersonic tech out there and portal tech and UFOs, it's all based on these videos, which means it's all garbage. It's all garbage. This whole conspiracy theory.
We found the guy who leaked them, but he's wrong because somebody else claimed that he both created and leaked them. You know, or somebody that he knew got them and
right, but the guy that he claims leaked them is a huge speculative jump that has no basis in reality whatsoever. The guy who he claims leaked them was charged with something else. It wasn't even fucking videos, I don't think. It might have been photographs or information about our nuclear capabilities or information about our spy satellites. There's no indication whatsoever that the man that he claims leaked these videos had anything to do with them. None. His whole answer when Chris held him to task on it in the Spaces on Friday was, what else could it be but MH370? And I'm thinking, fuck, it could be unicorns from Narnia. It could be fucking doors from Middle Earth. I mean, it could be anything. You know, if you're going to go with why pick MH370 then? If you're just going to pick some fanciful fucking argument out of thin air and go with it, why not? Why not doors and unicorns? I mean, it was just as much evidence to show that it was that as it was Ashton's story about UFOs or man-made black tech. Give me a fucking break, man. That's why this whole thing is so comedic. It's such a joke, man, because you literally could take unicorns and dwarves and put them in Ashton's arguments and they'd all be the same. It would make no difference whatsoever because there's just as much evidence. Absolutely. None.
And we have in our live chat, we have Crashly TV, who also did a recreation, and Ashton didn't want to talk to him. So how many people doing recreations that look almost exactly the same does Ashton not want to talk to? And we'll share a little bit of that video. He's using the Zap virtual effects with After Effects to show how it was the asset, you know? It's just so stupid. Like, how many people have to tell him he's wrong and he's still gonna, you know, it's like, nah, I can't hear you, you know, like that doesn't work anymore, Ashton. This is why he's retiring, because I think the heat's getting too much for him. He can't explain these things away with fake evidence anymore. And at some point you have to say, you know, I get it. People love conspiracy theories, but when you have all these data points pointing that the videos are fake and all of these experts and people able to do the recreation, when he said it couldn't be done in 2 months' time, people did it in a few hours that are experts at virtual effects. Like, and he's no expert. It'd be like me going to a podiatrist because I have cancer. You don't go to a podiatrist if you have cancer. If you want to know about virtual effects, you go to a virtual effects expert. You don't go to somebody that has no training in that field and trust their judgment. Like, trust me, bro, the videos are real. Well, we've got all these virtual effects experts that say they're fake, and here's why. Why are we still talking about this? And then all this comes from, it's all fruit from the poison seed. It all comes from a channel that posted fake UFO videos. So it's all fruit from a poison seed. The tree is poison too. Anything coming from the fruit of this poison seed is also poisonous. He's stacking all kinds of shit on top of this, you know, trying to, you know, I don't know, push a square peg through a round hole. It just doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah, he's picked a hill to die on, and good for him, man. You know, unfortunately, it's going to be a long, horrific, and comedic death because everyone now is just laughing at this fucking fool, man. You know, anyone who's got any kind of common sense is laughing at him.
Well, hey, just to be clear, I don't really want to personally insult him. You know, the evidence is enough. You don't even need to get into the laughing at him for, you know, people. And I will say that people have attacked him, but maybe deservedly so. If you're going to make fantastical claims on the internet, you better have fantastic evidence, not a bunch of bullshit that you cobbled together that doesn't make any sense, you know? And like, what is the end game here? Okay, So before it was aliens teleported the plane away. Now people are saying, no, he's saying it was the government. So the government has teleportation technology, and they teleported an entire plane somewhere, but not an entire plane, because parts of the wreckage were found at different places, right? So I guess when they teleported it, pieces of the plane fell off during the teleporting process. And you're right. You have to ignore all this physical evidence. And by the way,
so what happened? Do you know
progress. I think they're going to find the vast majority of the plane. I think they're going to find it eventually in the next year or so.
If the government teleported that plane, Stephen, if the government hypothetically teleported that plane, where are the people that were on board? Where are the freaking people?
I'm sure there are people.
I mean, are we going full, into? I think they would, unless their families are some kind of actors or something. Is that what he's claiming? I mean, I've never heard him say that, but I don't even know, man. Like his theories don't seem to make much sense to me, because they just don't pan out. They don't pass muster. You walk him past the sensational front, basic arguments that he has, and what's his explanation for where the victims of the crash went? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it, and it's very distasteful, and that's why I stayed out of it for so long. But after this spaces with him on Friday, where he started attacking people, he attacked Chris, he attacked me, he attacked anyone who was questioning, and then he had the balls to cut me off when I was trying to explain that the preponderance of evidence shows that these videos are fake, and he had the balls to cut me off and say, actually, the preponderance of evidence shows that they're real. And I was like, oh, motherfucker, you just screwed up. Now I got to dig into this and destroy your story. And that's what I did. I found the evidence that was out there, and it's not that I had done any great, amazing research. The people on that airliner abduction 2014 Reddit subreddit, they had already done this evidence this research, and they had already debunked him months ago, and he just ignored them, belittled them, and then went to his little echo chamber and continued to spread his narrative. And that's why I had to tell the story the way that I did in that tweet. I wanted people to know that the evidence was out there. I didn't collect it. I didn't research it. It was all right there. People had already done it. Ashton had bullied him into silence.
And this is all the evidence that he doesn't want to talk about. So it's good that it's all there in one thread, and people who are curious can see the evidence that these videos are fake. And again, it's fruit from a poisoned tree. It all starts with bullshit. So it doesn't matter to me how much bullshit you pile on top of it. Prove the videos are real or step off. And then there's also the issue of exploiting all those dead people and their families. And I've heard the argument from some of these people, well, nobody from the families have complained. But I'll ask Ashton, if I ever get a chance to, if somebody from one of those families complains, will you stop doing what you're doing? I don't believe he would. Do you? The argument is nobody complained. Their argument is nobody from the families complained or said that.
Well, I really hope that that's the case. I really hope that his little region of messed up influence on the internet is so small that it hasn't reached the victims' families in this case. I really hope that's the case, because I would hate to think that this nitwit is traumatizing people who are already traumatized just so he can stroke his ego. That's pathetic. That's just downright pathetic. And so I hope that's the case. And he better hope so too, because he might find himself on the business end of a defamation lawsuit if he keeps it up. I mean, I don't know what he's claiming, but they might come after him. I mean, there's been historical precedents of such thing happening.
This is exactly like Alex Jones claiming that those school shootings were staged or false flag events. I didn't want to bring that up. It's just as damaging to the victims of these families as what Ashton is doing. And this is my opinion. I'm entitled to it. It's just as damaging as what Alex Jones did. And look what happened to him for pushing false conspiracy theories and hurting. He's re-victimizing all these people. Now they're all part of some grand conspiracy, and they got teleported to some base for some unknown god. Why would they even do that? It just makes none of this makes any sense. It's so stupid, childish.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Anyone who's got some common sense should see right through it. All the evidence is there. There's no reason to entertain this guy anymore or platform him. Joe Rogan, Matt Staggs, if you guys are listening, you guys dodged a really big bullet there by not bringing this clown on your show and giving him access to your viewers. And I'm glad. I'm glad, because his reach would have been even bigger. You look at what happened when Johnny Carson had Uri Geller on his show in order to debunk him. And if he hadn't have done that, nobody today would even know who Uri Geller is. Nobody today would care. He would not be a celebrity. And unfortunately, that's what happens when people get brought into the limelight. Even if it's just to dump all over them, like not Julia Dorsey. Who's the other one you said earlier? I forget his name. Danny Grant. No, what's his last name? Who was Danny Jones that was on the podcast with him. So he kind of dumped all over him. And, like that right there, even that.
I thought he was very
gave Ashton a bump.
I thought he was very respectful about it, though. He wasn't like nasty. He was just trying to I think Danny kind of like knew the videos were fake and he wanted to get in his head. Like, okay, he let him talk for hours and show his evidence before he started hitting him with all the debunks and reasons why these things could be fake. I think he was fair.
Yeah, he was, and you'll notice that the reaction was the same out of Ashton. It was just the quick rationalization to excuse his belief, and then dismissing the contradictory evidence out of hand. He didn't want to hear anything about it. He's got an answer for everything, but unfortunately for Ashton, most of his answers are just complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. They don't pass muster.
The perfect
up.
example is using fake Reddit posters who claim they're the head of Marvel Effects. Why would you even do that unless you verified they are who they say they are, and get the name, their resume, and get an on the record, call them up and say, can I use this as an on the record comment from you as an expert in Hollywood level virtual effects? He didn't do that. He just ran with using fake evidence. That's fake evidence. It's not real. Unless he can prove it,
right.
And I challenge him. Come on, Ashton. Stop using fake talking points unless you prove those people are who they say they are. As recently as yesterday, he's still using the virtual effects head for Marvel Top Gun, and he never verified that was the Marvel effect. He never verified that person was who they said they were. He's still using that as evidence. That shows you he's not being honest. Either verify that person is really the virtual effects head for Top Gun Maverick or the virtual effects head for Marvel, or stop saying that, because you're being dishonest. You're lying to people using fake Reddit posters. And for all we know, I've said it before, I don't have proof of this, but for all we know, that's Ashton on Reddit saying those things and then screen capture. Oh, see, the head of Marvel Effects said that those videos can't be fake. No, we need the name, their identity, their resume. We got to have them on a show saying, yes, I agree with Ashton, these videos can't be faked. I challenge you, Ashton, go find whoever the head of Top Gun Maverick virtual effects was. Get him on your show and get him to verify that's him on Reddit. Get the head of Marvel virtual effects, get him on your show and get him to agree that was him posting on Reddit. If not, your fake evidence falls apart, and you should stop using fake evidence to prove your fake points. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'd love to see him do that, Stephen. I'd love to see him get those people on the show, and I'd love to see him show them the Corridor Crew video, and also take them to the AMA that Joe did on Reddit and show them that, and then say, what do you think? What do you guys think? Ask him. If those are really the people that he claims that they are, show them all of the evidence and then ask them. And accept what they have to say. But we all know that he won't accept what they have to say. He won't accept anything that is counter to his narrative, man. It's, like I said earlier, textbook confirmation bias, and that's it. That's it. There's no amount of evidence.
Here I'm showing the original picture of the clouds that we know who took the picture, and he has proof he took the pictures, and the background in the fake videos. But still, we're going to argue that these videos are real somehow, even though the backgrounds of them were taken by somebody from an airplane, and he proved it, that he took those pictures from an airplane. And they match almost exactly. Not pixel perfect. They're not pixel perfect, Manny. The videos are still real unless you get it pixel perfect. And by the way, again, I keep harping on this point. He has zero experience with virtual effects, but he's going to refute all these experts. He's going to refute the guy who took the original goddamn pictures. He has a receipt from his plane ticket showing
you can't
that he was
use the
on
word
plane to take these, you know?
when you're discussing this with Ashton, you can't use the word expert or else it triggers him. And he goes into this appeal to false authority and CNN brain and things like that. It's really fucking weird. It's weird. It's cringy. And when you step back from it, it's fucking laughable. It's laughable, man. The whole thing is, and I'm glad that we're talking about this today. Let's get it out. Let's get the information out. But I'm not going to be talking about this anymore. I'm just not. I don't want to. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your viewers' time and everybody watching this to have to go over this video and this evidence that's been debunked time after time again, just because some clown named Ashton doesn't want to accept the reality and the facts that are presented to him. It's a waste of everybody's time, and everyone should just shut the door on him, man. That you don't have to cater to him just because he wants to argue all day long, and I'm not going to. I don't ever want to talk about this after today, to be honest with you. It's just so distasteful.
I have a feeling that people are going to force me to. Lou Reviews is on Twitter saying, and this is very telling, Ashton is getting his entire theory torn to shreds with facts, and now he won't show up. We invited him, just so everybody's clear. You just got to DM me. My DMs are open, and then I will send him the invitation link. If I knew his email, I would try to send it there. I mean, if he wants to join, we'd be happy to hear from him. But I have a feeling
he was here at the start of the show in the chat. Why didn't he stick around?
Manny, I don't think it would be fair for him to come with both of us, because I don't think he could handle either of us. Either of us could tear him to shreds. The two of us together, he'd be left in a puddle of his own piss. Like he can't. That's my opinion.
Well, bring him on and I'll step out, or you could take a breather and go, step back and I'll deal with him. I don't even care, man.
Revival. This is great. The 2,400 visual effects shots found in Top Gun Maverick, which were the responsibility of Ryan Tudhope and the artists at Method Studios, MPC, Lola Effects, and Blind. Well, I'm going to call them tomorrow, and I'm going to ask him if he agrees with Ashton, and that's him posting on Reddit. And if not, we'll all know that Ashton has been using fake evidence this entire time. Because if Archaic Revival can find out who was responsible, who really was the head of virtual effects for Top Gun Maverick, why couldn't Ashton and pick up the phone, get the guy on the phone and get him to verify he's the Reddit poster? He can't, he won't.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have some kind of excuse, like it was somebody who worked under that guy, or it was somebody else. It was another guy. It was something else. Like, and this is what he does: is he's deceptively vague, so that when you call him out on some of the facts, then he tries to make you look like a fool. He's like, oh, that's not what I said. It was this. Like the Joe Rogan tweets thing, where he posted a couple of the DMs to Joe Rogan, but the blue check mark was missing on one of them for some strange reason.
I think he baited everybody. I think he did that. That's my opinion. Why would he rip the blue check mark out of some of the screenshots? He did that so that people would say, no idea. He's lying. Those screenshots are fake. And then he posted the reality. And by the way, I have heard from somebody who spoke with Joe Rogan, just to be clear. And yes, Joe Rogan did reach out to him and say, oh, that's interesting, but and asked him to come on, but then thought better of it and said, no, I don't want you to come on. But see, those guys took that as a victory lap. I think he baited everybody to think those screenshots were fake on purpose. Why else would he edit out the blue check mark in some of them? Somebody edited it out. And then number two, the fact that Rogan asked him to come on, but then said, no, forget it. That's not a win for him. Rogan has platformed Bob Lazar, a convicted pimp fake scientist. So that means Ashton is worse than a convicted pimp fake scientist. Ashton is faker than Bob Lazar. Ashton is faker than Jeremy Corbell. He's faker than George Knapp. The fact that even Rogan, who has been platforming wackadoos for a couple of years now, said this guy's too wackadoo even for me, that's not a win. I just don't think it's a win for him. But he took it as, see, Rogan did invite me. Yeah, but then he said no, because he knows these things are fake. As anybody that's at least a little bit rational about this whole situation would agree. The videos are fake. And anything you pile on top of it doesn't matter. Go back to the seed, the start of the story. It's all fake. It's just like a lot of UFO stories. If you go back to the original story, it doesn't matter how much shit these people pile on top of things. The story's still fake,
Yep, it's all based on fake videos, you know. I mean, it's just we just got to kind of move past that now and say that people that still want to believe it are going to believe it no matter what evidence you put in front of them. And so good, honest and people who have integrity, who are trying to talk about facts and make real arguments, need to quit wasting their time on this fool and his conspiracy theory that is a bunch of bullshit. Just be done with it. Be done with this clown and be done with it. You know, the only thing that's going to get you is ad hominem attacks. He's going to call you a loser, say that you need mental help because you don't believe aliens zapped the plane. You need mental help. Like that's the best right there, man. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not aliens anymore. It's high tech government technology.
Oh, yeah. So because our black ops didn't zap a plane, which again doesn't explain where all the people on the plane went, does it? Like, come on.
And then there's other fantastic claims from him, like he cracked the secret of anti-gravity somehow as well. You know?
Oh yeah, I love how he was able to do in 2 months with a bunch of shitty evidence what Hal Puthoff's been trying to do for a decade. Like he's cracked anti-gravity. Woo-hoo! Good job, Ashton. File that patent tomorrow, you clown. Go right ahead and file that patent. Do it. Can't wait to see you just fall flat on your face again, you knucklehead.
Yeah,
Jesus, man.
Vincent says he wanted to get on more podcasts, so he had to change the alien part of the story because it was a little too far-fetched, right? Change it from aliens to top secret. And I'm sure that he said aliens at some point, or somebody did. I don't know, you know? And
yeah,
this you know, I get that people are angry at him and people are taking shots at him, but most of me feel sad for him because I said it before. The only other time that we talked about this, when the whole thing came crashing down the wall the last time, but it's like ping pong, you know, it just keeps coming back, you know. What I said is that nobody ever paid attention to Ashton, and all of a sudden all these people are listening to him, so it becomes like a drug. He can't let this go. He can't admit he was wrong. He can't let it go. He's never made any corrections to his fake evidence. He's never acknowledged he used fake evidence to push this. That shows he's not being honest. And all the blocking. Oh, you have evidence the videos are fake? Block, block, block. Oh, you're the guy who actually made the hoax videos and you have evidence and proof? Block, block, block. Oh, you did a recreation? Yep. Block, block, block. You know, can't let his followers see the evidence.
No, he's got to keep that echo chamber intact so he can manipulate these people and keep. I don't know what he's doing. Inflate his ego, fill his wallet. I don't know what he's doing, man. Like the Caleb download RAR is a really good example of why he's so hot to just be proved right. And I actually watched a couple of those live streams live, and I wish I had recorded him because he's taken them offline now because they make him look like a freaking fool in front of everybody.
Well, somebody captured them. They're still out there. Somebody captured those.
Oh, I'd love it. If you've got copies of those, please send me copies.
There was that other girl he told. Remember that girl too? He told that girl that she was ugly and nobody loves her and she should kill herself or something. Like one of the critics.
Oh yeah, he said deplorable things to people that are critical of him, man.
Dude, you know, because you don't believe
it's like his number one thing is to go right to ad hominem attacks and just
Well, you know.
Yeah, he said some really horrible things. Just go to his Twitter feed right now if you want to and search his Twitter feed for the word mental and look at how many times he tells people that they're mental or they need mental help or that they're, you know, they need to get off the internet and take a break and all that. And I'm thinking, damn, Ashton, physician, heal thyself, brother. Heal thyself, man. Go take a walk away from this thing for a month and touch some grass and go pet a kitty cat or something, dude. Like, he's either gone off the deep edge and he's starting to drink his own Kool-Aid, or he knows that he's a con man and he's just lying at this point. I don't know, and I really don't care. I really don't. You know, he can...
Yeah, he does.
He can go right back to whatever rock he crawled out from under. What's that?
Yeah, he continually tells people to go get mental help when they don't believe that a plane teleported out of the sky. You know,
absolutely,
it's just so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and that's his number one thing to do. He's done it in Spaces. He's done it on his live stream. Like when Tony, the guy who made the recreation that we looked at, the one that I posted, not the satellite, not the infrared one, but the satellite one. When Tony had confronted him and said, or not even confronted him, but approached him and said, "Hey, look, man, look, I made a recreation. Here it is." Ashton went on a live stream and showed Tony's Twitter account and his Reddit account. It was like, this guy, Tony Adams, is a is a liar. He's a liar. You know, he's a loser. He's a,
Yeah,
you know,
get back to
and all of his
baseball
little,
or something, right? Yeah, get back to baseball.
yeah, he
Leave
just,
leave this to the expert.
and this guy,
you know.
dude, Tony's not even a UFO guy, for fuck's sakes. Leave him out of it, Ashton, you fucking degenerate. Don't stick your fucking fans on somebody because they don't agree with you, man. Like, it's
Well,
so
I got
fucking
it today. Yeah.
That's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. The lengths that this loser will go to in order to fucking get his to keep his little echo chamber and to keep his bias confirmed, man. It's just pathetic. It's sad. It's sad. I'm over laughing about it, and now I just pity the fool, man. Like Mr. T, I pity this fool. Like, it's so bad. It's cringeworthy at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. And don't you think that this whole situation from beginning to end says something about conspiracy land, like how big this guy got a huge following out of nonsense? And by the way, let's talk about the money aspect for a moment too, because Ashton's lying and said he didn't make any money. Somebody added up $5,000 in super chats, which isn't a lot if he's been doing this for a full-on year, but it's money. You can't lie and say, I'm not making money while you're collecting $5,000 in super chats, plus all the monetized views for hundreds of thousands of views, plus all your friends on all the podcasts that you're on, they're all making money.
Well,
somebody mentioned millions of
fair,
downloads, you know, for millions
Stephen,
of downloads is a lot of money for an audio podcast.
To be fair, Stephen, he did allegedly donate $3,000 to the person who sent him that garbage RAR file. So he's lost a little bit of money too, but that's due to his own hubris, and it's due to his own desire to want to be proved right. When he finally did get that RAR file opened, for a good 10 minutes, he was screaming on his live stream.
Yeah, he's
about how right he was, and this was a win.
Wrong. Yeah, he's going to prove everybody.
Yep, all the
wrong.
debunkers can eat shit. We're done. We're losers. All the debunkers are losers. He's a winner. He's confirmed right. Oh my God, the men in black are going to come kill me, he said. I need to get this to Congress tomorrow. Congress, I'm going to testify and come out of Congress. Like, this guy's ego. Holy crap, man. There's not enough room in the room for him and his ego. Like, he can only deal with Ashton or his ego at one time. That's it. There's not enough space in any given room.
There's also the issue of suddenly when people start filing FOIA requests to verify some of his claims, he suddenly wants to retire. You know, that's a little problematic for me. You know, like, oh, we're finally going to get verifiable proof that you've been lying about certain things, and now you're going to run away. And that's the other thing. Oh, what was it like last week? Oh, I'm retiring it. You know, I'm retired, but he's still going on podcasts and he's still attacking critics and debunkers and whatever, you know. If you're retiring, then you shut up and you move on. He doesn't even have the ability to shut up and move on. And what's he going to come back with? I've cracked the secrets of anti-gravity or some other fake nonsense. I don't think he's done. I think he's going to, if he does pivot away from this, which I don't even believe he will, I think he's going to keep at it. But if he does pivot away from this, he's probably coming back with some other nonsense. What do you think?
Oh yeah, he's moving on to another conspiracy theory. Is what he's doing, and he's going to try to champion that one, and that's that our black budget technology, that the U.S. government's got some kind of secret warp drive under lock and key. So he's basically going after the T to the Elizondo folks, like, and all the stuff that they've been saying, you know, from now on, or he's basically joining up with them. He's just saying, yeah, look, you know, Lockheed's had this information for 60 years or 50 years and backwards engineered it, and they've got it under lock and key, and it exists, you know, and good for him. Let him go down that rabbit hole with all those other schmucks that have tried. Go for it. Go for it. You know, at least there's not a...
Ashton proved he doesn't care about his detractors by appearing here to insult you earlier. Well, he's had the link for 30. Well, he's had the invitation for 30 or 40 minutes. You know, like, I don't think it's a coincidence.
I find it real curious that the guy says that he insulted and didn't have anything credible to say to back up the arguments. Really? Yeah. So he showed up and said, "Oh, you're a bunch of dickwads," and that proves that he's right. Of course, he doesn't care about his detractors. He blocks them and he ignores them and he discounts their opinions, dude. What is this guy talking about? What is he even talking about? Give me a break, man. Ashton can't hold a fucking argument with somebody who has got a critical thought without going into straw man arguments, deflection, putting words in their mouth, ad hominem attacks. Like, it's just a hot mess, man. It's a hot mess of a dumpster fire. And that's why I'm stepping back from it. Like I said, today, I didn't even want to get into it. But again, after the guy said what he said and acted the way that he acted on Friday in the spaces, I felt like I needed to do a little research. And when I found out that the original creator had already come out and tried to approach Ashton and was blocked, when I found out that the guy who'd done the recreation had been blocked, when I found out that Jonas, who had filmed the clouds, had been blocked, when I found out that anyone who asked about the Portal VFX from Pyromania was blocked, I saw a pattern there of Ashton and his echo chamber, and I wanted to expose that and cast some light on it. And I think I did that with this tweet thread, and I think it's pretty open and shut. You know, I mean, if people want to continue to go support Ashton and his, you know, charging up the hill towards his windmill, go on, have fun with that. But critically thinking people, I think, are going to look at the facts here and see that this guy is no good. He's no good. His story's no good. It's all bunk. It's all bunk, and he's just playing for his own ego and his own personal enrichment, whatever that is, cash or ego, or both.
This is all your fault that I'm even doing this, because I wasn't aware. I agree with you very strongly that this pattern of blocking people who have evidence to show that the videos are fake, I think he's doing that because he doesn't want his followers on his Twitter threads to see those people and see their evidence. You know, if he had real arguments against that, he wouldn't need to block people, and people could say whatever they want about me. I generally don't block people if they're just asking questions or showing, you know, if somebody's getting abusive, I will, or, you know, these nameless, faceless accounts. I love those, you know. I don't know where we go from here, but I agree with you that this is a waste of time. It's a waste of time because these people will not accept any level of evidence that the videos are fake. It's like, how much more do you need? It's fucking to the point of ridiculousness now, you know?
It is. We've gone into the comedy part of it, and I'm glad we're back there, because that's really where it needs to be. People just need to look at this guy every time he pops up and laugh. Just laugh at him, man. He's a joke. He's a clown. He's going to block anyone that doesn't agree with him, and, you know, just tell his little story in his little echo chamber. Good for him, man. Let him have it. I'm glad he found, again, like I said earlier, a little hill to die on. But at this point, we're just kind of beating a dead horse about it. You know, there's no evidence. No mountain of evidence is going to convince him.
He's live streaming right now. True Debunkers Meltdown, right? Break the minds. The MH370.
Well, that's his MO too. That's kind of his MO too, Stephen, is to go on his live stream and have a one-sided diatribe to his echo chamber. Yeah, he could come over here and answer and face some hard questions. Come over here, Ashton, you pussy. Come on, man. You're going to go on your live stream and stream snipe and talk in an echo chamber? How fucking weak is that, man? Totally fucking weak.
It is weak.
Sorry, it's just pathetic.
He's not addressing us. He seems to be addressing other things. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm looking at it now, and it looks like he's playing other people's videos. Proof of reactions inside a thunderstorm generator, vortex fusion. What does that have to do with all the evidence that the videos are fake? You know, it's just like Jeremy Corbell. Debunkers beware, but I can't debate you. Beware, but I can't debate you. You know, I don't even know what he's talking about.
All right.
The original stage was incredible. A lot of very cool substances that literally prove that there is a chemical transmutation taking place.
And the fact that she's looking into the same stuff I'm looking into.
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Nothing to do with what we're talking about. But debunkers beware. Debunkers are melting down. Debunkers invited you to defend yourself. You were a bitch, Ashton. You know?
I'm sure there was a 10-minute.
I love it.
I'm sure there was a little 10-minute spree at the beginning where he's calling us all losers and things like that. You know, like that's his MO, to run away to his little echo chamber and to show people on the screen and call them out by name. It's really sad. It's really sad, man. You know, but let him have his little echo chamber.
Yeah,
you know?
We'll listen in the beginning. You're absolutely right. And by the way, this is transformative work. We're educating the public and critiquing the video that we are sharing. So this is fair use. MH370 videos, 1,000% true. Proof he's great at math too.
Guys, stream. MH370 videos 1000% true. Debunkers meltdown. Chat. I just love how
What a clown.
you love how the debunkers always make these extraordinary claims, right, on their posts just for attention and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm making fun of them with my post, right? Like, you notice, like, my responses are much more measured than theirs are. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun.
What an arrogant
We're
prick.
gonna stream tonight. But there was an honorary stream by
I like Minecraft.
I don't know what his name is. But I don't know. He's one of these like Redditor debunkers doing a whole stream about me, and I thought it was going to be funny if I restreamed it, right? But it turned out to just be like really sad, right? It turned out to just be like super sad, honestly.
Oh, we're so
Pretty
sad
pathetic.
with our
Like,
facts and
he
our
was just
evidence.
making up a bunch of bullshit lies and stuff like that, and like trying to pretend like they were.
Oh,
real.
bullshit lies. Prove that, Ashton. Show up and call them lies.
There, so
What a joke,
it wasn't
man.
even entertaining. But I'll address the points because I
What a
think it's
cry
something we
bully.
can do for
He's a
sure.
cry bully.
We're gonna take a look at some of the debunkers meltdowns tonight. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with it, and yeah, that's all we're gonna do tonight. I think after that I'm gonna take a break and then I'm gonna read a bunch of science on my own, and then we'll do some other stuff.
Oh, good for you, dude. That's the smartest thing you've said all day.
Let's see.
I love it.
Let's start with the narratives out there, chat. Yeah, why are these guys so mad? That's the thing, though, right? So the debunkers are so angry.
Yeah, we're so angry because you're pushing bullshit with zero evidence. And look at the following you've amassed. Some of us have to do real research and have actual real facts and evidence. We're so angry, Manny.
By the way, cheers.
What's he drinking?
Yeah,
Like
have another cocktail.
Girly apple teeny or something?
See, this guy's just a clown, man. It's so funny.
Ramped up. Like, I announced my retirement, and then it's like they're desperately trying to convince themselves the videos are fake, right?
I don't need to convince myself. Do you, Manny? I'm pretty sure the videos are fake. And all the
The
experts...
videos are 100% fake, man. It game over.
All of the experts agree with us. He's got fake Reddit posters, though. So, you know...
They're not even, like, trying to convince other people. It's like they're trying to convince themselves. It's so weird. Like, that area guy as well.
Oh, that area guy. Now he's talking about you, man.
On Twitter,
Yeah,
like,
but not talking about me.
A function is he's literally promoting somebody who pretended to make the video and claiming that guy's telling the truth when there's like literally no evidence, and there's a ton of evidence that he was a liar. Even after the guy said,
"Wow,
the files
denial."
That's a pretty hard cope there, Manny.
The Redditors and the debunkers are literally the thing that they imagine other people are. I don't know if they don't realize they're just projecting their own insecurities, right?
I'm very secure that we have real facts and evidence and real experts on our side. I don't know about you, Manny. Are you insecure? Are you
not at all, man? That's good. Okay. Not at all.
Just checking. Just checking.
Not at all.
I wanted to make sure you were not insecure in your, in your evidence-based belief system, backed up by facts and multiple experts in the fields that apply.
What am I insecure about? That a plane crashed and this guy's capitalizing on it? I mean, yeah.
How many
this is ridiculous, Steven. Seriously, man. I don't even want to watch any more of this, man, because this is just always what he does, and it's just if he's too much of a coward to come over here and say this stuff, then that should tell everybody that he loses. Game over. Game over. He's just going to do what he always does and go on his own little echo chamber and talk shit about people behind their back. I don't want to entertain this guy with another minute of my time, man. Let's get back to talking about something else. We can talk about him all you want, but I don't want to watch his stream, man. I really don't.
I do want to mention something. I do want to mention something else, because once in a while somebody today threw at me like, "Oh, Ashton's got 10 times your followers," or something like that, so your points are invalid. Like, it's not about follower count. It's about who's right and who has the facts and evidence on their side and who has a bunch of bullshit propping up a house of cards made of each of the cards in the house of cards is made of a lie. It's so stupid. But just to make a point, somebody's attacking me because he has 10 times. We have more live viewers than he does right now. So, Yeah. He got numbers because he went on some very, very big podcasts with his garbage story that's been debunked.
I mean, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if you go on a big podcast, you're going to get a few followers. You go look at anybody who's on Joe Rogan, and they average anywhere from 50 to 100,000 Twitter followers just by showing up on his show. It doesn't matter if he calls you.
Let me address this.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Is that the best he could do? Crypto Alchemist, he could call me grandma's boy. Like, I haven't heard that 100 times. The best he could do is attack my appearance. That means I've already won. He can't attack our evidence because his evidence is fucking fake, okay? And he's not an expert. He can't refute the experts with bullshit, right? So go ahead, attack my appearance, attack my eye, my disability. Call me One-Eyed Willie, call me grandma's boy. I love it when that happens because I know I've already won. They have no argument left when they start attacking my appearance.
Yep, and that's
by the way,
textbook
just to be clear,
there.
I've never attacked his appearance, and there's plenty there to go to, But I won't.
I have. I called him a pencil neck dweeb, and I'll call him to his face a pencil neck dweeb. He is. Get
personal though, man. The evidence speaks for itself. Let the evidence speak.
I know, Stephen, and you know that I don't like to go there, man. But when people like him come out and try to bully people and talk shit like that to everyone else, including like Tony, who's not even a UFO person, for him to go and do that, he's got some comeuppance, man. And if he can't fucking take it, then he shouldn't be dishing it out. He shouldn't be dishing it out. If he's got thin skin and he's going to cry about someone calling him a Minecraft dweeb, then he shouldn't be calling people liars and losers on his fucking stream like he's just doing.
Telling people they're ugly and nobody loves them. Like, I loved what he did to that one woman, and all she did was say that the videos were fake. And again, with the personal attacks, he couldn't refute what she was saying in her video, calling the videos fake. So he just made a video saying that she was fat and ugly and nobody loves her. Like, come on, man.
What a douchebag, man. What a douchebag. Like, he's a clown, man. Like, it's so pathetic, dude. It's just so pathetic, dude. Like, I'm over it. I'm glad we got to talk about the facts, man. And I would love to talk about them some more. I'm sure there's something we missed, but
I appreciate you doing this because I didn't really want to do it, but I figured if Manny will do it and he's already got the outline, we could go through this stuff and try to educate people. And this is how these fake stories work. First of all, they're built on a house of cards where each of the cards in that house of cards is a lie or a half truth or a misstatement or a fake evidence, and then everybody makes tons of money. I love how so many people rushed in to get him on their show, and you come on my show 5 times telling the same bullshit. Like, come on. It is about money at the end of the day. Everybody's generating money out of it, so don't just play along. Don't show your audience the evidence that the videos are fake from the very start. That's called a lie by omission. That's how these things work because they won't tell the audience the whole story.
Yeah, and that's been illustrated, more times than we even need to mention. Is that he's just cherry picking, speculative data that fits his narrative, and anything that doesn't fit his narrative gets quickly dismissed. He calls it people Reddit debunkers or evil Reddit people, or you have CNN brain. He's got all these different little terms that are just, oh God, they're so cringeworthy, man. All of them. He does it to people on his live stream. He does it to people on Twitter. He does it to people in spaces, and it's just, it's abhorrent. It's sad.
Oh, just to be clear, be clear, because I have a feeling that people are gonna start more shit. If you're willing to debate him here, I'll do that, but I don't think he's gonna want to do that. And if he's gonna come here and debate somebody, it really shouldn't be 2-on-1. So I would just keep time and not interject my own thoughts and feelings. I give my word on that, but I don't think he wants to face a real skeptic or critic, because he can't just bowl over somebody like you that's so well informed. And his hoax works because he has a low information zone audience. They don't have all the stuff that we've showed you tonight, or he's muddied the waters to try to make all the stuff that we showed you tonight completely irrelevant and the conspiracy's still real. No, it's not. It's all fruit from a poison tree.
Yeah, it is, which is a great legal doctrine, which people should look up if they're not familiar with. Look up fruit from the poisonous tree. And, just to paraphrase, it means that any evidence that's derived from another piece of evidence that's obtained illegally, or in this case, that's based on false evidence, is fruit from the poisonous tree and goes out with that evidence. So, and that's what we're saying here, is that all of Ashton's evidence that he has that's not subjective or speculative is all based on these videos being real. There's no evidence that there was any sort of advanced propulsion. There's no evidence that there was sort of black budget projects that were being done, used out there, portals.
Well, let's stop for a
Tic Tac,
minute.
nothing.
Wait, Manny, let me stop you for a minute. There's no evidence whatsoever that the plane depicted in the video, whether it's real, fake, or not, is the MH370 plane. There's no evidence.
That was one of the first points I made.
Fins. Yeah, you're not getting
right. You don't see a tail number. You don't even. No, there's no evidence that even if that were a real piece of footage.
No one ever proved that video was Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. No one ever proved it.
No, but it had to be, because the guy who uploaded it to YouTube put the GPS coordinates for Diego Garcia in the YouTube comments, allegedly, even though they're not there anymore. It's a joke, man. Everything, it's a whole house of cards. It's come crashing down, and now what you're seeing is a whole lot of cope going on to maintain the illusion that there's some big conspiracy theory when there isn't. There's not a big conspiracy theory. There's no evidence that anything other than MH370 crashed, and it was a tragic event. Over 300 people, I think, lost their lives there. And it's really sad and pathetic that somebody like this is going to rise to fame by creating a conspiracy theory around it. And not even creating one, by glomming onto somebody else's conspiracy theory based upon a video that a guy made for background. Like he didn't even make it up. Yeah. It's sad, it's tragic, but it shows the world we live in. And, I hope people are wizened up by this, and I hope the facts get out. And, don't bother going after Ashton and trying to change his mind. Nothing will change that guy's mind. Nothing other than his own confirmation bias.
Yeah, it's clear nothing is going to change his mind. Nothing will change his
mind.
mind.
And any arguments he makes are disingenuous, and you shouldn't be baited into arguing with him either, because that's all he wants, is to argue, and make these silly ass points that he's made over and over and over again. And it just needs to be flushed down like a bad turd. Put it down the toilet, be done with it. We're done with it.
Toilet. Yeah, I agree with you. But I'm going to let you go and try to wrap up. I got to read these super chats and stuff, and I don't want you just, there's just a good number of them here. So I appreciate you doing this, though. I'm sorry for the technical problems. And by the way, just to be clear to the audience, I may have to private this video, download it, clip something out, and re-upload it. So if this video is not there after we close broadcast, that's why. It'll be there back as quickly as I can get it there. I hate to do a download and re-upload, but sometimes I don't have a choice, so you lose all the momentum of the live stream. But
yeah, and let me just say, I'm kind of sorry to everyone for wasting your time by bringing this up again, but I felt it needed to be addressed. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm busy as hell working on getting these projects going with Bob Kvyat. We've got that Mandela Effect movie that's coming out here real quick, that's in the delivery stages. And, I don't want to take my time away from good, productive work to do this stuff, but sometimes it needs to be done. And, I'm just sorry to everyone for kind of having to drudge this up again, but apparently it needed to be done, because I don't think people on Twitter knew that, or even on YouTube, or even anywhere off of that subreddit, knew that the original person who made the video had come out, that Ashton had blocked all these people who tried to, show him that these videos were faked and that they were CGI. And I don't think people understood the level of the echo chamber that this guy's created on his little platform. So I think it needed to be told, and I don't regret spending the time on it, but there's definitely better ways I could have been spending my time. So, take that into account.
That's exactly how I feel about it. I feel like it's just like, really, do I have to do this? But my audience all but demanded, when some people saw your thread, they were like, Stephen, you got to talk about this. And I go, okay, we'll try to. But every time I'm forced to talk about this, I feel like that's enough. It's Brandolini's law. The amount of time and resources and energy required to refute bullshit is orders of magnitude more than it takes to create it. And I don't want to keep putting more time and energy, It's like, if any reasonable or rational person sees all this evidence we showed tonight, if they still don't believe those videos are fake, we can't help you. Go back to delusional fantasy land where airplanes teleport out of existence to another dimension. You know, whatever. We've done what we could do. We've saved who we could, right?
Yep. We've done the legwork. We've done the research, and mainly found, like, I didn't do a whole lot of research. I just found other research that people had done, and I just tried to tell the story.
Yeah, to acknowledge it wasn't all your research, but it was easy to compile it all together and show like a pretty convincing case that this person's not being honest selling this hoax.
100%. So there's a lot of people out there that tried and were either bullied into silence by Ashton and his crew, or
well, yeah, but people
and
should know me and you.
bullied.
Well, me and you are not. Both of us, neither of us are people that are bullied into silence. So good luck with that one, bro. Yeah, good luck with that one, bro. Right?
I think somebody learned a hard lesson about that one tonight. So, be good, people. Have fun out there. Check out the movie I've been working on with Bob when it comes out, and I'll be around if anyone's got questions. Hit me up on DMs on Twitter. I'm always active on Twitter. Not doing much on my YouTube channel nowadays. Haven't for a while. Probably won't.
Oh yeah, because somebody got my filmmaker job, you prick. So no time for YouTube.
Whatever, man. I love you, Steven, man.
Steve,
love you, bro.
Fuck Steve. Fuck YouTube. I got that filmmaker job that Steve Cambion should have got, but that's okay. No, I'm happy for you. And you guys are welcome back when you get those out. We'll talk about them. And thanks for doing this.
Love to, man. Love to.
All right, you have a good
All right, good night, everybody. Have a good night. Take care. Thanks for having me on, Steven.
Yeah, there's Manny, Area 503. Sorry about all of the technical problems, but it's nice to know that one way or the other, you just roll with the punches. We had a lot of technical problems at the start of the broadcast, which I apologize for. So I want to take a moment to recognize all you kind and generous benefactors. For those unaware, we generally read every super chat, but sometimes we wait towards the end of the show. So we want to thank High Speed Chase, who's been a member for 1 month, and says Ashton Forbes is a Wookiee spanker. You heard it here. And High Speed Chase, thanks for 2 things, being a member and a $2 super chat, says let the super chat begin. Another one says thank you, Stephen. And High Speed Chase gifted 5 Truthseekers memberships, which is a great reason why you should hit that subscribe button. For those unaware, people buy gift memberships all the time here. And the way that YouTube does it is just randomly distribute the gift memberships to subscribers who are not yet members. So you could get some extra goodies just by hitting that subscribe button. You could win a free Truthseekers membership. We give a couple of extra goodies. Thank you, High Speed Chase. Also, High Speed Chase, kind and generous $2, said art and paranormal is amazing. High Speed Chase with another kind of generous $2. Ashton Forbes is more ridiculous than Beavis. We have welcome to the show, the kind of generous 99 pound, or what is it? 99 pence super sticker. Thank you for your kindness. High Speed Chase with a $5 one. Ashton Forbes obviously does not care about the family members of Flight MH370. Yeah, I don't think he does, because if he did, he wouldn't be profiting from the tragic death of 239 people. And I'm pretty sure that if you called every family of those 239 people, at least some of those people would object to what Ashton is doing, spreading false conspiracy theories based on completely and totally fake CGI videos and horseshit, crazy, nonsensical theories, you know. And the fact that he doesn't recognize that maybe he is re-victimizing those people, to me, it's exactly like the Alex Jones situation where he created false conspiracy theories out of a tragedy. That has a detrimental effect. That is not a good thing to do to people, you know, in my opinion. Local 556 with a kind of generous $10 says, that imaginary gnome account is absolutely Ashton's alt. The account made in September of last year and only tweets vitriol to critics of Ashton. It's him. Same vernacular, same insults. Thank you for letting me know. So now we have additional proof that Ashton Forbes is using alt or sock puppet accounts to attack his critics. I wonder who we learned that from. Maybe Lou Elizondo, right? So instead of a faceless bureaucrat, we have an imaginary gnome account. Yeah, and it's interesting. I wanted to see then if we could, I think I blocked that person already, though, Local 556. It's just interesting that other people are recognizing that there's these accounts and all they do is attack Ashton's critics. That's not suspicious at all, right? I think it is suspicious, you know. And yeah, I think I blocked that account, so I'm trying to find the, you know, I'll try to find the link to where that person was talking. I think it should still be in there. But yeah, it's amazing that they have to use fake accounts. Like, just come at me with your real name and face. Don't be a bitch, you know? Like, you know, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And people are free to form their own opinions, but at some point you go, you know, and there was 2 accounts that were tweeting at me, but the one was really nasty and I blocked it. I don't know. I'll find it later. Not important. Let's continue with the super chats. Thank you for your kindness. Local 556, friend of the show. High Speed Chase with a kind of generous $20 says a bunch of clowns that are selfish, greedy, and don't have souls in some cases. Says High Speed Chase with a kind of generous $20. Then we have Mike A. Hey, sorry to interrupt. I found your channel recently. What do you guys think of the Grush guy? I think that he is being used, manipulated, and deceived by a group of the same people that have been making these very same claims for years. In fact, there's ample and supportive evidence of that. Go to our main channel, click on that little magnifying glass. You have to do it on a desktop, and just put in the word Dave Grush. You'll find that we have done numerous videos covering Dave Grush since the beginning of the Dave Grush story. We'll likely continue to cover it for as long as people want me to. And I hope that explains to you. I am of the opinion that Dave Grush believes what he's saying. But if we take a moment to realize that Dave Grush have been making these claims for an awful long time now, and just in a few short months, it'll be 2 years since he filed his original complaint. But he's been making these claims about aliens and everything for 260 days now, and so far has provided zero evidence of any of his claims. I've never heard of a whistleblower who waited 260 days to show evidence of the original claims he made, which can only lead us to the conclusion that Dave Grush has no evidence of his claims. He's got stories people told him and nothing more. High Speed Chase with a kind of generous $5 says Ashton Forbes is worse than a grifter, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. JIC Mac with a kind of generous $2 Canadian says plans to cover Diana Pasolka's new approved grift. Yeah, I got the book. I have to read it, and then I'd be willing to do a show on her book and her claims. So far, not very impressed, but we want to take a moment to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors, you Patreon supporters, you super chatters from tonight and every night. We thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Thanks to all of you for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, so yeah, and I apologize for all the technical problems. I also apologize because you may not be able to watch this right away. I may download it and cut something out that from the technical issues that we were having, and then just re-upload it. Hopefully, I'd prefer to not have to do that, but I have to review it. But anyway, we've done our due diligence. We want to thank all you super chatters and Patreon supporters, YouTube channel members, Twitch subscribers, and PayPal pledgers. I didn't check in with that. Let's check in real quickly. I think we just so people are aware, you can also send us some support through PayPal. Just be sure that you add a note and give us your chat room user ID and any message that you would like us to read out live on air, and we do that. We read every single super chat. We thank every PayPal pledger as well. And then, okay, we have somebody with the initials CH. They know who they are. Didn't add a note with a kind and generous $10 PayPal pledge. So we thank you for that kindness, generosity, and support. And one more here. We have initials MB. They know who they are with a kind and generous $2.50 PayPal pledge. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We have Maria with a kind and generous $40 PayPal pledge. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Thanks to all of you PayPal pledgers helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, so we have done our due diligence. you know, sometimes we have a bunch of technical problems, and I hate that, but I apologize. It is a live show. We just roll with the punches here. Try not to, have those problems, but these things happen. So we want to thank our guest tonight, Manny, from @Area503 on Twitter. We thank all of you for joining us. And, I really want to thank all of the virtual effects experts as well. By the way, everything we share tonight is in the description of the video. We always share our sources. We've got real sources. Ashton can share a fake Reddit poster saying shit. That's not evidence. I really want to thank all those people who have stepped up to the plate to try to dispel this false narrative, this fake story. It's a fake story. That's it. Full stop. It should have been a full stop at the videos came from a YouTube channel that had nothing but fake UFO videos on it, provably fake UFO videos. But it didn't. It's like the zombie fake conspiracy theory that just won't die. Isn't it interesting? No matter how much evidence, this thing won't die. But he said he's retiring, so I guess it's going to die now, and he'll move on to something else, or will he double down and not give up on this fake conspiracy since he built his whole following on it? Will he create a new fake conspiracy? Who knows? This whole situation does make me sad that you can go on the hugest podcasts in the world, some of them, and all you have to do is, find some fake videos that have already been debunked and pile a bunch of bullshit on top. It makes me sad, but that's the media landscape we're in. We live in an attention-based economy. And if you can generate attention, even if that attention you generate is all based on lies, half-truths, misstatements, fake evidence, fake videos, you will be very successful. Sometimes I just think I like pine for a world that is no more, when people did real investigative journalism and people really did great research for a story that they were going to present to their audience. Those things are largely gone, and